Day 2 of Ferrari Challenge North America's third weekend, coming to you from COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. We're at the top of the incredible tower that overlooks the whole venue. Some brilliant racing yesterday. My name's Andrew Coley. This is Tony Verlander, who doesn't like heights very much. Tony, thanks for coming up.
I did 5 years here, Formula One. I always managed to skip the tower. First season with you, I'm on the top of the tower.
We're getting him to do stuff he's not comfortable with. This play, yeah, near the edge. Look at this view, the whole track. Turn one, you just don't see that elevation change unless you're here.
Yeah, this is a very special place. So like you mentioned, turn one uphill, so you brake actually later than you normally do. And what is very typical for this track is it was designed in the era when Formula One cars were struggling for overtaking. So actually all the tight corners, just before it, the track becomes very wide. So like we saw yesterday, a lot of overtaking chances, and this is a different character. We have some tracks where we sometimes say, we didn't get a lot of overtaking action. Here's opposite. We had good racing yesterday. We also had a great gala last night.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic event here. Ferrari Racing Days, Day 2 of racing about to get underway. Let's go. Good afternoon to you from COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. It is not such a nice day, as you can see, but we have managed to avoid the rain so far. There was a little bit drizzle this morning during qualifying. It's grey out there now. Some of the drivers were saying it might still come. Some of them were saying it looks like it's gone. Whatever happens, we're going to do 2 races this afternoon, one for Coppershell and one for Trofeo Pirelli, which is weekend number 3, of course, of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. Cars have done their recon lap. They're heading back into pit lane now. My name's Andrew Coley, alongside me, Tony Verlander, Nina Jade Paul, reporting from the paddock and pit lane. We started the season at Thermal, then, of course, it was Sebring. Now COTA, Laguna Seca and Sonoma for a couple of Californian corkscrews and roller coasters. Road America for round 6, and then the finale Mondial at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain at the end of the year. That is the big old Texan flag which flies at the end of COTA down by turn 6. There's a huge stars and stripes over turn 1, which is known as Big Red. And Tony Verlander, this circuit has inspiration from a number of different F1 tracks.
Yeah, this track is designed at the time of Formula One, where they were struggling a little bit with overtaking. So turn 1, turn 11, very wide at the braking zone. You can really dive deep and look for that overtaking opportunity. Between turns 3 and 6, inspiration from Silverstone, Mackett's, Beckett's corners, high speed. This weekend, the drivers can cut those corners a bit more. The curbs are lower. And then we go to the areas where they're the hard braking zones, a long back straight, again a tight hairpin at 12, very, very tight sector 3, beginning of sector 3, from the corners 13 onwards, slow speed, you struggle understeer, oversteer, and then from the track in Turkey, inspiration, the very long right-hander 17-18, where you're really dragging that front left tire.
You really have to work the car hard in the last sector, don't you, with all the slow corners, and you say the long corners as well, long radiuses.
Yeah, turn 19, the second last corner, there's a little disconnection, little bump in the braking zones. We've seen cars moving around a bit, and then you need to cut really hard and decisive the inside curb to allow to respect the track limits in the exit of the corner.
Yeah, it's a tricky old place indeed. You might have just seen the track temperature 39 Celsius. Yesterday it was 47, so the temperature is a number of degrees lower, which of course is because we've had cloud cover most of today. Engineers bleeding just a little bit of air out of the tyres as we get ourselves ready to go. The Pirellis, which of course are specific to this car, developed for the 296 Challenge machine. And they'll just be getting them down now. They've done the recon lap to make sure they're roughly where they want them. And you have to set the tyres, Tony, don't you, with anticipation that the temperatures and the pressures will come up. So you you're guessing where they'll end up when they're hot.
Yeah, you always talk about cold tire pressure and the hot tire pressure, and where you target where the pressure should be by the end of the race. There's a target where you're aiming. If you overshoot it, the tires start to slide more. and yeah, you don't want to be too low either. So plenty of testing time each weekend. Teams and drivers know what to expect. They have a good read on tire pressures, setup wise, maybe some fine tuning from yesterday, and also drivers today are more ready. They've done one qualifying prior this day and also one race start prior this day. So normally on day 2 we get better action on track, and drivers are more ready for turn 1.
This is interesting to look at how many of the driver coaches, we didn't see this yesterday, live pictures, they're all up there with the cans on. So that is their comms systems to get to the drivers. So they've gone up there, we've got the race feed, but of course the race feed only follows 1 or 2 cars at a time. All of these guys now can follow their driver around the entire lap, except for the start-finish straight, because that is hidden from their view by the F1 pit building. That is very cool.
Yeah, not all the racetracks have this opportunity.
No.
In Daytona, you can go up on top of the grandstands and see the action around the track.
It's a long way away in Daytona, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like further than this.
Sebring, you struggle to see the whole track. Here is a very unique, the high tower where you can see the whole track. I'm not a big friend of heights, so I prefer our TV footage.
Fantastic, getting ourselves ready to go. Look at that. They can't see them here. That's the one place they can't see them, is in pit lane, but they're going to be able to see them as they head around the rest of the track. We are very much looking forward to today. There were a lot of penalties in the Copper Shell race yesterday afternoon. Loads of people jumped starts. There was a few for coming out of lane too early. There were a few for cutting corners. So yeah, it was not a done deal. One in particular that is of interest is that Tim Dweet was given a penalty which sees him start from pit lane. Okay, here we go then. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines. We're underway. We're going to roll out now. Covers are coming off the windscreens. The marshal down at the front giving them the visual as well, because a lot of those guys won't be able to hear us up here in commentary. They get us around the P8, around the track here, as well as in hospitality. Hope you're enjoying yourselves in Casa Ferrari. Tony, I say the list of penalties yesterday was like a half page.
Yeah, some of the penalties already started with the starting procedure. So what they want to see at the start, coming out of the last turn, is side by side 2 solid lines. You need to stay behind the car ahead of you, and you cannot go next to the other car or step away from the actual 2 lanes. So that's the first thing. Then some contacts, incidents, accidents that caused more penalties, even some misunderstanding, some driver doing their drive-through penalty during a safety car, full course yellow,
yes,
which obviously is not allowed. I mean, you can do it, but it's not valid as you didn't serve the penalty the right way, and then you get another one.
Yes, there was a lot yesterday. I say Tim Dweet, who took the pole, unfortunately was penalised yesterday for contact on lap 1. So although he took the pole this morning, and I think he'll get the point as well for pole, he will have to start the race from the pit lane. So we need to keep an eye out for Tim Dweet trying to make his way through the traffic from the back of the pack as quickly as he possibly can. Ferrari Challenge North America 2026 from COTA, Circuit of the Americas. It's day 2 here of our doubleheader. Copper Shell, here's your lineup. On the pole, Blake Rosser with Chuck Whittle alongside. Ross this morning had his lap investigated, but it was fine. They said it was the previous one that was a problem. Charlie Menard and Brad Evans on row 2. Row 3 is Javier Rodriguez, Borgio, and then Ryan Dayton. Borgio got one of those penalties yesterday, but they won't affect him today. Andrew Parker and Joel Rose. Parker further up the grid today than he was yesterday. Nicely done. Row number 5, Lewis Flory and Michael Owens. Michael Owens was on the pole yesterday, if I remember correctly, and is considerably further down this time round. Then it's Rodin Unesi and Kevin Orsini. Orsini, of course, with the fantastic livery from Cars on his car at the minute. Glenn Moss and Mike Luley on row 7. Row 8, and this gets us down to Coppershell Am. Fabian Sperman with the pole, Melissa Kazira alongside. That's after Tim Dweet was put to the back of the grid. They are our championship fighters alongside each other. Nürnberg, yes, they came up from P15 to P4. Today starts P3 with Michael Moyes alongside him on row 9. Row 10, Kenneth Sweder. Good qualifying performance today, and Adam Bafella likewise. On to row 11, Danny Patel, who will also be pleased with that. Patel, yes, they might have been one of the guys who got penalised, but I know he had a bit of a rough start. John Lennon as well on the outside of row 11, and then row 12, Steve Check and Lance Corley. Row number 13, Bernard Gomez and Paul Lynn. Row number 14, Henry Hummel and Joseph O'Neill. Row 15 is Daniel Roberts and Jamie Garrett. Garrett with some work to do to carve our way up to a female friend at the front from the 1-2 last time out, Kozira. Lewis Peruski and Helen Chu. Let's go for all 3 steps on the podium for the women at some point. Jeffrey Kuehl and Ed Vartugin on row 17, and row 18, Tim Dweet. He'll be starting, I believe, from pit lane. Yeah, 3 females in the lineup. Say 2 of those last time out at Sebring took a 1-2 on the podium. That was Kozira and Garrett. Garrett a little way further back down the grid today. Kozira up on that front row, and we'll have to get the job done again with Sperman. Sperman, yes, they went up from P4 to P2 in turn 1. Go on, yeah, Tony.
Yeah, I talked quickly with Fabian Sperman at the Casa Ferrari at lunch break, and at the time he thought he's still starting P2. So he was going with his driver coach Ale Balzan about turn 1. Should I go outside, inside? Because yesterday he had a very good start, but now actually he's on pole for his category.
Oh, I saw Melissa at lunch. She said the same. I said, you're starting on the front row. She goes, oh no, I've only just found out. I've had to change my tactics. So they've all had to change their tactics just ahead of the start here. But keep your eyes, first of all, then on the Copper Shell category at the front, which, of course, is Blake Rosser on the right-hand side of your screen and Chuck Whittle on the outside. Behind them, Charlie Menard and Brad Evans. And then further back, yeah, that is...
Orsini, he had the suspension failure in
yes,
qualifying.
Yes, he did,
so
yeah.
He's back.
Had to park at the side of the road.
Yeah.
So safety car goes off. Waiting now. Rosser said he wanted to make it tough for everybody behind him, and he did acknowledge that it is going to be an interesting day. Here comes the green flag as they head down towards the start. Oh, okay, so that he's crossed the line in front. You think that'll be a penalty, Tony? Maybe. We're not quite sure on that.
Yeah, for sure they need to see what happened at the start.
Yeah, so Rosser gets to turn 1 first. It was Chuck Whittle who went kind of before the green flag. That was difficult because to me they went on the gas early on down the start-finish straight, then came off it and went back on. But second start now on the outside line. Let's look for Melissa Kozira. She's lost out here to Fabian Sperman. Sperman is going to get through, and I think it's Jeffrey Nunberg has gone in as well. She's trying to come around the outside and hold on to P3. Nunberg and Sperman come together. I think it's Sperman who's gone off on the inside line. Kozira up into P2, so Jeffrey Nunberg leads here. A championship leader, or right up there in the lead, Fabian Sperman. He's off on the grass on the inside. It is him, isn't it? Yes. So that is a disaster for Sperman, and with him not coming back on, I wonder if the car's damaged, Tony.
Yeah, I think there was a contact with the front left. So Sperman went really wide, turn 1, off the track, came back, and Nürnberg was there, and there was a contact, so maybe he lost the suspension or the toe link on the front left.
So Kozira now has a bit of a tactical decision to make, because at the moment, championship fight is very much with Fabian Sperman. Let's have a look at a replay of this one. So take a look at this. This is Tony, talk us through. There's Sperman out wide. Nürnberg takes the standard line out to the curb. Is that Sperman rejoining, really, and should have left a bit more room? Or is it Nürnberg not seeing him outside?
It's very difficult to call this one, because I think Fabian, what he tried to do is actually stop the car. He didn't went off completely, and then he didn't have the momentum. He almost stopped the car at the exit curb, and the cars just collided with a really different speed.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to make a call on this one.
Yeah, that's tough work for the stewards. I mean, for me, on the standard line was... who was it? Sorry, at the front, Sperman. It was Nürnberg on the standard line. Yeah, he took the standard line, and Sperman rejoined. Often, if a car is rejoining the track, it's up to them to rejoin safely. So we'll see. But glad we don't have to do that particular job. So leading out front, Blake Rosser. Charlie Menard has made it past Chuck Whittle. Chuck Whittle, I wonder if Whittle's given back the positions, because it looked to us like he may have gone early on the start. They all went early on the throttle. Yesterday, do you remember, they waited till they saw the green flag, then everybody went here. They went, backed off and went again. So a bit of a confusing start for some of these guys. Yeah,
and we would also need to see the image in the way that we see the actual green flag, the moment that you can go on throttle. So it looked like Whittle from the P2 went on throttle a bit earlier, but maybe he reacted at the right time for the flag.
Yeah, maybe he saw the green flag and the others weren't there with him, and that Rosser and Co were a bit slower off the mark. This is your Shellam front runners, Nürnberg, Kozira, Sweden in P3. That's a great result so far, and Moyes in P4. There are the two leaders, so Nürnberg and Kozira. I wonder if Melissa will try to go for the win or not. We know she'd like to. Now, what have we got in terms of... Here is... I'm going to have a little scroll down the timing screen, Tony, and just see if we can find where... yeah, Fabian Sperman is out as far as we can see. We thought he probably was from that initial contact, but he's not shown up.
Yeah, Jeffrey Nürnberg, sometimes a little bit of struggle in qualifying and normally puts a good show in the race, and today he was on it in qualifying. Yesterday a bit unlucky with the red flag in qualifying 1 when he was not able to post a lap time. Came through from P14 to P4 yesterday, and now he's leading the race today.
That was Moyes there passing Sweden in the hairpin. Sweden just kind of, yeah, I think I spoke to him last night, Kenneth, and he was saying, this is all new to him, and he didn't defend the hairpin enough. Got a good exit and went to try and get back at him on the straight. Here's Sweden in the yellow car, Moyes in the kind of black and beige. Oh, Sweden having a look up the inside. Behind them, then you've got the battle between, I think it's Danny Patel and Steve Czech. So Steve Czech is in the gold-coloured car, and here is Patel, yeah, P5. This is Patel's best performance, I think. Pretty sure he hasn't been quite this far up the order before. He's lovely, Danny, such a nice bloke. Dental practice, if I remember correctly, and he was saying he's just finding the time to run the business and go racing. Is tough, but he's absolutely loving being here. He was here before with Club Challenge, so he knows the circuit a bit, and great qualifying performance, turning into hopefully a good race performance, Tony.
Yeah, good action in the early part of the race too here in Copa Shell, and no major drama apart from...
Oh! Whoa! Spin! So over the curb on the inside, now facing the wrong way. That is not where you want to be sitting. Oh no, being passed either side. Michael Moyes in the 101 with a spin on the exit of 19, I think it was.
Yeah, second.
Yeah, ended up facing the opposite way and was being passed left and right. That would not have been fun sitting there, I can tell you that. So Moyes is going to tumble down the order. Let's take a look at the replay of that one. So we're going to see Moyes go round here. Coming to it any moment now. This is it here.
Oh, he's way off.
Way on the outside. And then he caught the curb on the way back and it flicked him back the other way. Patel goes one way, Steve Czech goes the other. Yeah, long way off circuit onto the dirty tarmac. So, yeah, okay, he's back on track, but will be a fair way down the order now, I think, looking at the overalls.
And luckily no damage. This was
well, it would have been big damage, wouldn't it? Look at Kozira and Nürnberg. What is the gap behind them? 5 seconds. So Nürnberg leads from Kozira by 0.7. It's 5 seconds back to Kenneth Sweden. He's now on his own, of course, after the spin. Steve Czech and Danny Patel in that battle back from him. So whereabouts is Sweden is 1.5 ahead of Steve Czech. So he could do with them continuing to fight. Kozira's not going to give this up. She's going with Nürnberg. And Nürnberg's impressively quick. And we know that at the minute, Melissa Kozira is having an incredible season.
Yeah, she's putting the pressure now on the leader, and that's the right thing to do. Look for that possible error from Nürnberg, and yeah, there's still plenty of time in this race, so Melissa has the patience to just stay there. She has the pace as well. To be able to follow that close means that she has similar or even a little bit faster pace at this stage.
Yeah. Nürnberg hasn't been on the podium yet this season. He had a 7, a 6th and a 4th, so his results have been increasing. He sits P6 in the standings, or he did as we came here to COTA. But Kozira, to me, is looking really threatening here. She brought the gap down from 7/10ths to 7/100ths. So, yeah, applying the pressure. Good opportunity up at turn 1. And look, they're already starting to gain on the back of the main shell field.
And sometimes you can see in the Copa Shell or Shellam, it feels like Nürnberg is a bit stronger in the first part of the lap, and then Melissa is very good on the technical part, the slow corners, and coming the very fast left-hander with the double or triple apex, the 17-18.
I'm really impressed with Melissa. I say, having got to know her a little bit more this season, and that she's only been doing this for a couple of years, I think she's really holding her own here, and it's just great. So, Parker goes round. This is where we had the offs yesterday. Oh, no, he's put it in the wall. So Parker's gone round as he comes over the crest. That is on the exit of turn 9. It's the same place we had the 2 shunts yesterday. And if that's taken the rear wheel off, which I think it might have done, then we're going to end up on the full course yellow very soon indeed.
He takes a lot of inside curb. The whole car goes over the curb, but most cars do it. But then just the wheel spin and there's the damage on the rear. But he was also involved with the accident yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, he was. He got taken out, if you remember, on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, with the Carroll car.
Yeah, Carroll spun across him. So Rosser and Menard having a decent fight here. Whittle is in behind them.
I would say, full course yellow coming
Yeah,
out soon.
Parker is who spanned. So Parker was in P4. That's gutting. Got to be a full course yellow, I would have thought, any minute now. Blake Rosser with the fast lap. There's a bonus point for that. He'll be disappointed that he's got to restart, but at the minute, yeah, there is no gap. So for both him and our leader of Shell Am, Jeffrey Nunberg, who's got Kozira breathing down his neck 0.5 of a second behind. Full course yellow is out. What we expected while they get that car recovered, and we're going to see this field backed right up. There you go. So hand out the window from Rosser, and that's to say, I've seen the full course yellow, have you? So you often do that if you are either struggling, if you're going to head into the pits, if you want another car, or basically to say, I've seen a caution, we're slowing down. There is Parker's car. You can see the telltale skid lines from the 3 different accidents we've had here. He hasn't moved the concrete K-rail. He's broken the rear wing on the car, but now we are under full course yellow conditions. So Parker, look at the graphics, and you can see him sliding down the order, and that is, of course, because everybody's crossing the start-finish line, and he is not. It's a real shame. And Roy Carroll, who we had the incident with yesterday, obviously didn't get the car repaired either. Yeah, we need the recovery truck to pull Parker's car out. We're going to tee up some replays in a minute as we're under full course yellow. Nürnberg look up 2 places. Kozira's got the fast lap. Swede, that's the recovery truck heading out. Recovery truck leading the safety car. Lights are on both. And then, yeah, Swede are up 2. Steve Czech look up 5 places. John Lennon up 3. Danny Patel up 1. Befella has dropped 2, but the biggest faller, obviously, Moyes going down 15. Moyes was the spin, wasn't he? Moyes was the spin, the 101 car that sat racing the wrong way. We've got quite a few replays we can probably bring you, and I think we're going to be under caution for at least a lap. I want to know who's in the truck, because it's good pace there, Tony, from the recovery truck at the front. Nice steering inputs as he comes through the technical section here. Not strictly registered for Ferrari Challenge in the recovery truck, but doing a good job all the same. Yeah, but they've done a good job during the whole weekend. They have. They fixed the barriers really quickly. That was the fastest I've ever seen a barrier fixed. And also picking up cars that were involved in accidents or going off the track and trying to... I think the message has been really clear. The race being 30 minutes, they would try to get as much green flag running as possible, and you can see the way the track officials are working as well, so they are on it. So something that's interesting to me here, other than the fact obviously the truck, all jokes aside, was in front of the safety car, is the safety car is going much more slowly. Now I think that's a good idea because it gives them more time. The truck's had to stop here now and everyone's going around the outside. It gives them more time to recover that car in less laps. Although while the safety car gets, circulating around, if they get to start finish and the recovery truck is still on, you have to do another lap behind it. This might be a play to try and make sure we have more laps under yellow. Green, sorry, under green. Yeah, let's see how they get the action started. They parked the recovery. There's 2 up there, look, both recovery trucks. That might be the ambulance as well, so that would just be a quick check. I'm pretty sure Andrew will be okay, but obviously that's the most important thing, is that he is. We can get more cars, but we always want to know that our drivers are okay. And as soon as they've checked that he's all right, then they can get the recovery of the car underway. Quick update then on positions. Rosser, Menard, Whittle, Borgio, Florian, Evans. Lewis Flory up to P5. That's the top 6 in Coppershell. Coppershell Am, it's Nürnberg, Kozira, Sweden, Czech, Lennon and Patel. So we did have that brilliant fight between Patel and Moyes, who spat. So that left Patel with a bit of space. No, it was Sweder, sorry, and Moyes. Moyes passed Sweder up at the hairpin. And Sweder in P3 will be really happy. Kenneth, I know, will be really happy with that, and his family here, as to say, watch him. The good fights for me, Rosser and Menard was super close, and Whittle was definitely in the mix there, and Nürnberg and Kozira had checked out big time. They were 5-6 seconds up the road. Now, it will be a little bit frustrating for them to have to build that gap again. And also at the restart, there's no more class split. Yeah, oh yes, so they're going to be on the back. Yeah, they will start. We see Jeffrey is behind the yellow and red car here. Yeah. So they will start all in a single line. So sometimes we see that the Shell drivers with the leading Shell Am drivers are in the big fight, and then you need to always a little bit be aware that you are not fighting with the car that is in your class, and need to really be careful and not to lose a good place in the race because of a damage with another car that is not in your class. Looking at Luli didn't do a lap this morning, so didn't make it out for qualifying, so starts at the back of the pack. Orsini, who's ahead of him. What's Orsini's lap time? Having a frantic look over my grids again. Why can I never see a name when I desperately want to? There he is. So Orsini did a 2:10.3. So again,
yeah, he had the issue.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. He had the broken suspension. Unesi. Where is Unesi? Has moved up or down a few places. Oh, moved right up to P7. So Unesi has done well there. Qualified in P11 but has moved up to P7. But the point is, I'm looking at lap times. This morning, Sperman did a 2:07 and so did Kozira. And that would have been enough to put them. Melissa Kozira with a 2:07.9, Tony, would have qualified in P7 for Shell. So
wow.
there's 5 or 6 cars. But also Sperman, and don't forget, I think Nürnberg was pretty quick as well. He was 2:08.3. So definitely the 2 leading cars in Copper Shell Am are going to get themselves through. Let's take a look at those starts again and we can pick the bones of exactly what happened. So Tony Villander alongside me. This is Rosser and Whittle. So where's the green flag on the right? It is going. So maybe Whittle responded and Rosser didn't. So there might be no penalty there.
Yeah, Whittle had a good reaction. Then he overshoots the turn 1 a bit, tries to avoid the leading car, and then he loses another place. Apart from that, no major issues. Cars
up
go.
P3, yeah. But this was the one.
Yeah, Sperman, there was no need to go so deep. He was the leading car. He had a very tight line, and very unfortunate that in the exit, Nürnberg and Sperman collided. There was space for both cars, and having done that racing line, Sperman could have gone a little bit wider in the exit and keep the momentum going and not to stop the car in the end.
Yes, yeah. Of course, it's that moment. He's oh no, I've run wide. What do I do? I'm on the
yeah,
dirt track. I want to get back on the track, and the whole pack's there.
Yeah, he tried to sort of respect the track limits, like on a flying lap in qualifying.
It would have been better just to ignore it in turn 1 because the stewards would have ignored it anyway unless he got an advantage.
And he was really cleared himself from the rest of the group by the time of the braking zone and turn into turn 1. And just running wide, then everything happened in the exit.
We're looking at championship positions. Tim Dweet, remember. So your top 3 are Kozira, Sperman and Dweet. Coming here, Kozira had a 2-point lead. I'm pretty sure it went up to 6 after yesterday when she got the pole and she got the win. Fastest lap went to Paul Lynn. So she extended her lead to 6 points, but crucially here, Sperman is going to score very low, if at all, because the entry is massive. And I think the points go down, let me look in the front of my folder, to P30. Now, he'd probably be right in Shell. He probably will score in Shell, but it's going to be a much lower score than if he was in it. So Tim Dweet, who is next in line in the championship, had to start from the back of the pack after the incident yesterday. So for me here, Kozira has a clever play to make, Tony. Yes, she wants the win, but with her championship rivals struggling, P2 is a brilliant result, and you have to weigh up whether or not you want the risk to take the win or whether you want to take a big lead in the championship.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before that in this kind of points system, this kind of championship, the consistency is the key. Sometimes P4 or P3 or even P5 is more important than actual DNF and trying to fight really for that something that wasn't achievable
or necessary in some occasions.
So consistent throughout the championship. And what is very impressive in Melissa's driving is when there's qualifying and you need to go for that fast lap, she's on it. And then at the restarts as well, she's been really good.
Right, Rosser, Menard and Whittle coming round. Let's see if we get the restart a bit more sensible. Oh, they're all getting backed up. Careful in the back of the pack there. They've all been backed up hard on the run in. In the background, you can see Nürnberg and Kozira as well. Here we go. Let's try and keep our eye on both restarts. Yellow still flashing, green flag going. We're in green flag conditions away. In the background, it looks like someone's alongside Kozira. Kozira's lost a position. Out front, though, good job. Rosser leading from Menard. Whittle coming under pressure here in the background up the inside. Whittle may be losing out. It might have been Borgio in behind. I'm not sure. Didn't see. There were locked wheels as well. Melissa Kozira getting closed down. Everybody's made it through turn 1 okay. Kozira's lost at least 1 place, if not 2. So Sperman has gone up. Nürnberg still leads. Swede is in there. Swede's got past Kozira. Steve checking behind, is he?
Yeah, so Nürnberg was able to...
No, Czech's gone through as well. Sorry, Tony. Czech's gone through as well.
Yeah, so Nürnberg at the restart was able to put 2 cars now behind, between Melissa and himself. So a lot of action at the restart.
Yeah, there was. There were definitely locked wheels up at the front. I wasn't sure who it was. I think Borgio had a look at Whittle.
and safety car lights off came a little bit late. So maybe all the drivers were not ready to restart that lap.
Yeah, there's the damage. Look, there was damage a moment ago we saw on the side of Borgio's car. You can see the front left splitter as we see the P2 car of Menard go through the dirt. On the outside, contact in the background here as well. Rejoining as we come on the straight. Watch here, because some people are going to have got a terrible run here onto the straight. Good opportunity for a pass as we come down into the braking zone of turn 12. Here comes Kozira. Here is that braking zone in the background. You can see dive attempts going on. Positions just about held onto. Nürnberg here continuing to lead the category, but Nürnberg, of course, in that mess here. Steve Czech trying to find a way past. So that's Czech trying to find a way past Kenneth Sweder. Right behind now as well, Melissa Kozira. So Kozira, those two cars in front of her are the two that mugged her at the restart. She needs to try and fight her way back through.
Yeah, and the yellow car...
Kenneth Sweder, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a good fight between the top places in the Chelam. And yeah, Melissa this time in the restart lost some places.
Didn't work out, did it? But she lost them on the exit of 20, like they were already alongside her. Unless somebody went a bit quicker, you know, off that point. This is a fantastic result for Kenneth Sweder if you can hang on to it. And in the background here again, side by side. It's coming down that front straight. Trying to see car numbers. It's on the inside.
Owens outside.
Owens outside, yes it is. Owens outside, the long way round. Owens drops it. Contact. Oh no, sitting duck here in the middle of the track. Owens going backwards as well, spins the car around. The 112's been involved in that as well.
Oh no,
Mike Luley, so Owens gets going as well. Luley spun and he's facing the wrong direction on the track. Wow, all kicked off there. There's a bit of debris in the road as well. Meanwhile, I think we should be able to carry on here. A little bit deeper at Kozira. She comes in over the curbs and she's trying to find a way past Steve Czech. You're looking there at Javier Rodriguez Borgio with a little bit of damage on the front. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, so Owens is outside, and you see the track is not completely flat. It happens yesterday to Carroll as well. When you accelerate, go full throttle outside the exit curb, this thing can happen. So then he lost the rear, went across the track and collected a bunch of cars.
Oh, okay, pressure here now then for Nürnberg. What's happened? Who's this? One of the Shell runners that's got back with him. Nürnberg drops in behind, but I think that might be one of the Shell runners that was in front of him. Without the timing loops around the circuit, it's hard to tell positions change. So Nürnberg, who is this in front of him? We need a race number off that car. It's 181 is, he looks down his list.
Is it this one? 191.
One, no, you think it's Glenn Moss, who's in the Shell category, who must have been caught up in the incidents that were ahead and has then ended up behind Nürnberg and has got back through again. There is a lot going on in this race. Yeah. So, okay, right, let's get our heads into game here. Jeffrey Nürnberg leads. He's just to the left of your picture. The gold-coloured car you're looking at is Steve Czech. Behind that is Kenneth Sweder. So Sweder has been passed by Czech and he's now coming under pressure from Melissa Kozira because Sweder was in P2 in this category. So at some point on this lap, Czech here in the gold, up the inside. Kozira trying to come past Sweder. Sweder on the gas around the outside line. Melissa Kozira still inside as she goes on the brakes into the final corner. Kenneth Sweder cuts across the front, but he runs out wide. Melissa Kozira now with a decent exit. Sweder, though, similar exit too. She pulls in behind his slipstream. That gives them a little bit of space. Behind them in the blue and black car, that's Danny Patel trying to close down on them. Oi, oi, oi. So Kozira takes a wider line in and a tighter line out. Nürnberg, meanwhile, isn't getting away, and Nürnberg is stuck in behind it. Is Glenn Moss. You were right, it's 191, not 181. Kozira looking inside again as she comes down through the S's here. She's definitely got a little bit more pace, but can't find a way through. She'll want to make those places up. And in fact, Tim Tweet's missing the hood off the front of the car, so wow, we haven't had as many yellow flags, but we've had an awful lot of action in this.
Yeah, a lot of action. Still 8 minutes on the clock. And yeah, Melissa Kozira definitely has more pace.
Lewis Flory making a pass here, yeah, so he's gone up the inside on Brad Evans. Brad Evans runs out over track limits, but with Flory on the inside, there won't be a penalty for that. Joel Rose with a fast lap, Orsini with a fast lap, Bella with a fast lap on their last one's round. And out front, it is still as Charlie Menard leading from Blake Rosser. Was Rosser leading at the restart? I can't even remember, so much has happened. I've got a feeling Menard has got past Rosser as well. I think Rosser took the restart, didn't he? So we'll have to try and find out where that was. You can really see the bump in this corner as well here with the rear shot. I noticed that a few times on the slow-mos.
Yeah, also at these slow-speed corners, you're really asking a lot from the car, so you can see the rear rotation, and then the front inside tire is almost lifting up from the tarmac, and you're asking for traction, you're asking for car to rotate, so difficult part of the racetrack.
So here is Chuck whittling his T-car. We haven't managed to see Chuck this week to find out what happened with the original race car. The toy box branding is Blake Rosser. Super smiley all weekend, but Charlie Menard is looking to check out front of him. Menard last lap was a 2:08.9, but it was a 2:08.8 from Rosser. So he has made a gap, but Rosser has responded to that pace. Rosser a couple of tenths quicker than Whittle. At this point, you've got to get your head down now and ignore. Look at Rosser. Rosser was early on the gas there, laid down a couple of black Pirelli lines on the exit.
Yeah, after all the action and the full course yellow, now it's back to the racing rhythm again, and just trying to do your maximum, not qualifying laps, but almost. Important thing is to be really concentrated at this stage of the race.
Okay, so things have settled down a little. As you can see, Menard, Rosser and Whittle are the overalls in copper shell here. In the background, you see Tim Dweet. Tim started in pit lane. So how far up has Tim Dweet made it? Only a few places, 4 or 5 places up. Must have had contact somewhere, unless... Oh, okay, that's a big cut on the inside. Unless someone's left the hood pins off, or not latched the hood properly. If you've ever done that, if you've ever seen a hood come up over a windshield, it happens in an instant. Or in these cases, it just disappears off into the ether as it flaps off as a nice carbon body panel, a souvenir for somebody. Dweet's still looking for a way through. If you saw Tim Dweet in the background with all that damage on the front of the car, I think you'd be thinking, I'm going to get out of his way, this guy means business. So Tim Dweet, who was the pole sitter, remember, was the fastest guy in this class. Tim Dweet to the inside line, not quite, and then loses time on the exit. I think he's going to lose time here, and he could well get passed by Moyes in the 101, and a spin to the inside line. Henry Hummel goes round. Meanwhile, in the 101, it was our spinner from earlier on, Moyes, who was trying to find his way past. He might get up the inside on the braking zone at the end of this straight. He definitely had a better exit after we saw an attempt up the inside. Kozira still behind at the moment. Nürnberg checks Sweden and Kozira. Kenneth Sweden would love to hold on to that podium position with 4 minutes 20 left on the clock. I reckon they'll make it round here for another 2 laps. Maybe, yeah, 2. It'll be 2. Looking at the lap times, we're up in the 2:10s now, around 2:09, 2:10. Cars streaming through. There's Jamie Garrett with the purple, silver and black in the background. Everybody making the most of track limits out here as well. The 144 in that baby blue colour is Daniel Roberts. Got pressure from Paul Lynn on Jamie Garrett. Roberts has a look up the inside, but no dice this time. There's Paul Lynn trying to make a pass on Garrett. Garrett goes round the outside and holds the position for now. So passing going all the way down through the field. Pressure as well. You cut these curves, remember. This is Lewis Flory. Got a lot of pressure, might lose out if he's not careful. I think it's Evans trying to go around the outside of him. Flory gets a good exit though. It is, yeah, Flory in P5, Brad Evans in P6. Behind them, Joel Rose in Dayton as well. Oh, inside line, late on the brakes. That is a tidy pass. Well done at high speed. Lewis Flory as well, good on the mirrors. Saw he was coming and left a respectful space.
Yes, very, very clean overtaking from Evans, and no contact, and made the late, looked like he's going to stay behind Flory's car, but then made the late move, late dive, and yes, nice overtaking. Hard braking zone into turn 12. Good job.
Yeah, really well done, and they're coming through now. He ran a little bit deep in 16, but comes back on through the carousel 17 and 18. That long corner based on the Istanbul Park, turn 8. train of cars here as well. Joel Rose, Dayton and Orsini behind. Orsini with the Lightning McQueen livery on the car. And then as you see Flory and Evans, who's managed to get ahead of Flory by some 0.7 of a second. So this is the fight for the rear of Copper Shell. At the minute, Menard leads Rosser by 2.7. Whittle is a further 1.2 back. That's in Copper Shell. In Shell-Am, Nürnberg has a 1.3 second lead. And Kozira's got past Sweder. So the timing screen shows Kozira has got past Sweder. So she's done that and is now 0.6 off the back. So yeah, Melissa Kozira with her fastest lap of the race. And Steve Czech also with his fastest lap of the race, but hers is 0.6 quicker. And she's only 0.6 behind Steve Czech. So with 1 minute remaining, there could be a fight here for the podium positions in Shell-Am. Here's Rosser. Fastest lap for him in this category. I think with a minute remaining, he's not going to get back to Menard, and he's got a decent gap over Whittle. So Copper Shell at the front is looking pretty set. Copper Shell-Am very much not. Here they are down the straight. Kozira, there it is, Kozira having a look at Steve Czech. This is the battle we're looking for. So Kozira with 42 seconds left, looking to try and make this pass. They may get to the end of the lap, but of course this is the slow sector coming up. Kozira dive into the inside line, gonna go late on the brake. She's almost inside Steve Czech. Steve Czech not quite though. Shuts the door on her. Kozira nicely done. We'll get a better exit through here and into the right-hander, which is turn 13. Steve Czech on the defensive line. Kozira's got to try and find a way through. Is it going to be white flag at the end of this one? I think it will, so there should be one more lap to go. Could have a great fight here. Let's see as we come round. Steve Czech through 13 and now opening up through the carousel. Finds just a little bit of breathing space with Kozira hunting behind. Say Kozira got past Sweder. Haven't seen how far back Sweder is. Sweder showing us 1.6 off the back of these two. I can't see him though. Yes, he is still there in the yellow car. So Kenneth Sweder still on for a great result in P4.
Little mistake from Melissa.
Run too deep?
Yeah, run wide at 19, turn 19, the second last corner.
That's a shame because she would have wanted this last lap. The white flag is out, so this is it, the final lap of the race. Kozira now may come under pressure from Sweden behind. She'll be disappointed with that because she'll have wanted to try and get Steve as well. Having said that, great response in the championship. Steve Czech might be one of the closest drivers to her with the issues for her championship rivals, Fabian Sperman and Tim Tweed. So white flag is out. Danny Patel here. So Patel in the blue and black car, coming under pressure as a move going up the inside, and that move is made. So Patel loses a place. Befella maybe gone past, and Patel now coming under pressure again. I wonder if Danny's got some sort of a problem. It's Roberts in behind here, so Patel has lost that one place. Riding over the curbs, big cut. That's a big cut.
Yeah, with the low curbs, the temptation is always there to cut a little bit more.
It's a bit too tempting, isn't it? Charlie Menard out front, great drive here, 2.2 seconds up the road. Made the pass somewhere on Rosser and got into that lead position. Rosser, though, in the championship lead, won't be disappointed with this because don't forget, behind him was Andrew Parker, who shunted out of this race. So this is actually Gary Ott, who's in P3, not here with us this weekend. So Gary will hopefully be back later in the season. One of our favourite drivers. He's on a big old push always. Great fun guy. So yeah, missing you, Gary. We'll hope to see you at a future round. But for me, this is a really key race in the championship fight. Charlie Menard coming into the final corner here, into turn 20, turns into that left-hander and has got the job done. So Charlie Menard takes the win here. He's had a couple of P3s, took the win yesterday and takes the win again today. So it's a double win for Charlie Menard here at COTA. Brilliant job. But behind him, championship story. Blake Rosser gets P2. Chuck Whittle is going to get P3. And now looking back to Shell-Am, Jeffrey Nürnberg coming through for the win. Nürnberg catching traffic, doesn't need to pass, don't do anything silly here. Nürnberg is going to take the win with Steve Czech in P2. Here he comes. And Kozira under pressure in P3, but manages to hold on from Sweden. Sweden just misses out on a podium position. But two key championship stories here. Blake Rosser has got a great result when Andrew Parker has crashed out and Gary Ott is not here. Chuck Whittle as well will probably take advantage of the fact that Gary hasn't taken part here. And then down in Shell-Am, Melissa Kozira, yes, P3, but her rival, Tim Tweet, look, he's down a long way behind her, and a retirement for Fabian Sperman in turn number 1. So at the exact midway point of the American season, we're race 6 out of 12 on this side of the Atlantic. I think Cobber Shell and Cobber Shell-Am, we're going to see some big points differences at the top of the table. We'll get those standings for you at the end of this encounter. Great job, Charlie Bernard. 2 wins from 2. Fantastic drive. And yesterday, it was, I remember Blake told me that he tried to pull up alongside Bernard to give him the thumbs up. And he said, but Bernard was still driving defensively, even behind the safety car. And he said, I'm sorry, Blake. He said it was my first win and I was just too excited, which I thought was a great little story. Nice camaraderie between people as well. I think these drivers will have enjoyed that. That was a proper scrap.
Yeah, this was a good race. We had a full course yellow, but quite quickly recovered race car, and then we went back to green very quickly, and a good race. Happy for also Nürnberg winning the race. He had a strong weekend. Unlucky in quali 1 yesterday.
Yes.
Good qualifying today, and then strong race start. Unfortunately, contact with the Fabian Sperman, but sometimes the race starts go this way, and yeah, exciting stuff. And also Melissa Kozira, she's really consistent. Looks like drivers around her keep doing mistakes. Sometimes they have a little bit more pace, but she's very consistent, and she's choosing the right battles, not going
absolutely
too aggressive, and when she has the chance, she makes the overtaking move. So very clever driving as well.
I thought she did well to avoid contact. She was getting squeezed a couple of times when she was trying to pass Steve Czech, and instead of having the contact, she was wise enough to back out of it. Steve Czech was P4 in the standings. As I say, Sperman and Dweet, we already know have had their issues. The championship lead was 6 points to Sperman. It'd be a lot more now, and Dweet as well hasn't scored that well, and he was 23 back. Steve Czech was 28 back. Jamie Garrett 2 points behind there. Garrett hasn't had such a strong weekend as she had last time in Sebring, but Jeffrey Nürnberg has had a banger of a weekend and may well move up the standings. So I think we can expect to see Czech and Nürnberg climbing, and Kozira with a nice lead after this weekend. There is Melissa Kozira, and they return to pit lane. You can hear the buzzer in the background. That's to warn you if you're in pit lane that there are cars coming in. You wouldn't have needed warning today for some of the cars on their way in. The V8 and the V10 F1 cars make just about enough noise for you to know they're on their way. Confirmation of the results then for the Copper Shell class. Charlie Menard with a double win here at COTA. Blake Rosser P2, Chuck Whittle P3. Then it's Evans, Borgio, Flory, Dayton and Orsini down to P8. Results by FI8. Glenn Moss, Mike Luley, Joel Rose. Luley did well there considering what had happened earlier on. Joel Rose, Younes, he looked 6 laps. Owen 6 laps. Andrew Parker 10 laps. And Parker, big loser here. Unfortunate for Andrew. He was sitting in P2 in the standings, but dropped it on the exit of turn 9. I know he'd be disappointed.
We're going to have to go buy you a brew.
We're going to have to buy you a brew. Celebration time for Charlie Menard. 2 wins. Yes, nicely done.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. Great performance. Very calm getting out of the car. Here is Nürnberg pulling into the Parc Ferme area. Very cool crash helmet design. And a good drive. Really 2 good drives this weekend, Tony. In very different circumstances.
Yes, yesterday with the full course yellow, I don't know how he was able to move
Past
up 9 or 10 cars.
In 2 or 3, yeah, what felt like 2 or 3. Wow, it was a few racing laps, but not enough to move up 10 places. He must have really flown.
Yeah, and today was a good solid qualifying, and then very strong race. He did a very good race start, and he's a very nice gentleman and always fun to see at the paddock.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie Menard, our double race winner this weekend, is with Nina Jade Pond.
You you are. 2 race wins this weekend. You overtook Blake on the restart. Talk us through that. That was the key to your victory today.
Yeah, you know, we qualified third, which was solid, but he's a great racer, and I think he'd been really tough to pass on the track. He had a good pace. That restart, I think he just pushed a little wide, and Coach and I talked about it, and we took advantage, and we went sailing then. It was so good. The car was amazing. I got to thank everybody on the team, and I sure appreciate Ferrari. This is just a wonderful weekend for us, obviously.
What do these 2 wins mean to you, Charlie?
It validates some stuff mentally, and it really does help show that I got the racing spirit in me still. And I got to thank Ferrari for that, for having this series, having gentleman drivers that we can race close and be competitive and have a lot of fun.
Congratulations again. Celebrate tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Lovely, big smiles, and obviously having a fantastic time with the Ferrari Challenge family, and that is what this series is all about. Charlie Menard with the win. Copper Shell Race 2, Circuit the Americas. There is Parc Ferme, down by the Ferrari Corral. It's quite windy, isn't it? It's Jeffrey Nunberg. Oh, big hug for Nina Jade.
How many
You mean total?
Jeff, congratulations, my friend. Wow. He said he's been waiting to have this interview. Well, you got here in the end. I mean, fantastic race. Talk us through that start, because that was really the key, wasn't it?
You know, we just had to go. It was go. And that's, I don't even know what to say because I don't really remember it. I just know there was an opening and I went for it.
Well, look, Jeffrey, you are a seasoned Ferrari Challenge driver. You are a specialist.
Unfortunately.
A specialist, if you will, in your field, Jeff. But, I mean, the race wins never get old.
No, this is awesome, and especially for the team. We worked so hard this week. We've had a couple of tough breaks yesterday. We got the red flag in qualifying. We had a really good lap going, and today we got a little block. I think we could have been P1 today, but the win is worth it. It's great. I mean, this really feels awesome.
Welcome back to the top step.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you. So good to see you.
Good to see you, Jeff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so nice, isn't it? That is such a nice touch to thank Nina Jade like that as well. What a gentleman Jeffrey is. What a great driver too. Say, obviously had a bit of a tough week from the sounds of things, and this is a brilliant reward for all that hard work. Nicely done. Jeffrey Nunberg with the win. Let's take a look at the results. You see, yes, some battle damage on the door there around the 141 side-by-side contact. We can get confirmation of the results of the Copper Shell AM class. Jeffrey Nunberg with the win from Steve Check and Melissa Kozira, making a pass on Kenneth Sweet. A good drive from Kenneth here to P4. Gomez, Bafella, Lennon and Danny Patel P8. That might be Danny's best finish. Not sure. We'll have to check. Danny Roberts, Jamie Garrett, good in P10. Paul Lynn 11th. Lance Cooley, Tim Dweet, Lewis Peruskia and Joseph O'Neill down to P15. And then Vartugian, Chu, Keel, Moyes, Hummel and Spurman. Spurman, the big loser here because he was right in that championship fight with Melissa Kozira and will undoubtedly drop down. There is Melissa. She's got the cool suit on, look, so you can see the cooling, the blue lines there are actually lines full of fluid, and that then pumps around. You see it says chill out on it, and that helps to keep you cool in the car, so they pump cool fluid through it. That can help keep the temperatures down. Lovely to see Jeffrey Nunberg and Hera over there having a little celebration together. Steve Check on the podium as well. I think he was. I know he was on the podium last year in Daytona. I can't remember if it was a win or not, and he was made up with that. Then he had the big crash at Miami, but good to see Steve back on form. Let's take a look at the championship standing, shall we? I say we've picked out what we think has happened in terms of the drama. Let's see if we were right. So coming here then, Blake Rosser led, and behind him was Andrew Parker. Gary Ott as well, so they've both dropped down. Like Andrew Parker says he's up one place, that's from yesterday maybe, but he's down P4. Gary Ott drops to 8th, missing this weekend, but importantly Chuck Whittle up 2 places. Kevin Orsini stays where he is. Michael Owens drops down 3 places, that's from yesterday. The gap, look, 36 points is the gap to the leader. Blake Rosser, exactly what we said. Problems for his close championship rivals, Andrew Parker. Gary Ott not here, and so Rosser has a healthy lead at the midway point of the American rounds. Evans, Rodriguez, Dayton, Rose, Moss, Chen, Carroll, etc. down through the order. I'm going to be able to take a look at Shell Am in a minute as well. Kozira there was 6 points up, and look at that. 27 points. She gained 4 points yesterday, and it's gone up by 21 today. Fabian Sperman retired in the first corner. Bit of a shame there. Steve Czech, when we came here, was in P4. He moves up a place, and look, he is of some 11 points behind Sperman. Nürnberg, another big mover, as we see, only up one overnight, but as it was up in P6 before this weekend. Tim Dweet, actually, despite his issues, has moved up 3 places this weekend, so he sits in P5. Then Garrett, Corley and Hummel. Jamie Garrett holding P6, so she's only lost 1 place this weekend. Perugia, Gomez, Vartugin, Kenneth Sweder, nicely done this weekend. John Lennon, Danny Roberts, Darren Bernstein down to P15. And so on, because we have a gigantic entry here in Ferrari Challenge in the Copper Shell AM category. Well, we're going to have podiums later on today, of course, for both categories, but we've got a little bit of a highlights package from yesterday, so you can look forward to some champagne later. But in the meantime, let's look back at yesterday's podiums. Champagne showers all round for those drivers up on the podium, and we'll have some more later, as we say. It is supposed to be an F1 Clienti session right now, but of course the F1 cars crucial that the track is clean for them. Oh, somebody made it all the way over to the Tech Pro. I think they have. The barrier in the background there looks bent. Do you see behind the Tech Pro? So, and somebody's crossed the gravel trap. They may have... Yeah, Borgio in the background, that looks like his car parked behind the fence there. So Borgio may have gone all the way across, and that's really bent the barriers. That's quite a big repair to do. But as I say, this track team here are amazing. They replaced the arm coat yesterday very quickly indeed. So F1 Clienti won't be able to go out on track until they sign that barrier off as safe. So I think it's going to be a little bit of quiet time on the track. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of a barrier repair here at the Circuit of the Americas while we wait to try and get things back underway. So there may be some F1 Clienti action before we get underway with the Trofeo Pirelli race. It's the barriers right at the end of the track. It's on the exit of turn 19. So stay with us. It won't be long before we're back for Trofeo Pirelli. Scheduled time was in around 10-15 minutes, but so you've got that barrier repair to do as well. So in the meantime, we're going to have a little make a tea, get our results, get our grids ready, and get ourselves good to go, and bring you all the action from our final race of Ferrari Challenge North America at COTA this weekend. Ferrari Racing Days. That one was fantastic with Copper Shell, and we're expecting similar levels of drama in Trofeo Pirelli. Don't go anywhere. Back soon. F1 cars out on track. And yeah, F1 Clienti. Slight delay while we got the barriers repaired, but we're good to go now, and it is fantastic to hear the screamers out. We've got V8s and V10s here this weekend. Listen to this, listen. Even on overrun, they just sound epic. Down the straight, here we go. There aren't really many words that me and Tony Villander can say which are as cool as this, Tony. You know, there'll be people at home screaming, "Shut up, you two, this is too..." And we are, I promise you, we will in a minute. We're just going to let you enjoy some of the sounds. But an introduction to F1 Clienti. Ferrari's such an iconic brand, and there is an incredible opportunity, if you have the means to do so, to buy a beautiful old F1 car with a history with it and drive it yourself.
Yeah, Ferrari has this concept of obviously selling their old F1 cars that did the Formula 1 World Championship. You can purchase the car. There's a few years of delay when the Ferrari then gives you the car and gives you the chance to drive it on the tracks. Client owns the car. Ferrari does all the maintenance, all the service, mechanics, chief mechanics, engineers. They monitor all the time that the car is running like it was back in the days. This is just beautiful.
It is, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I've posted a few stories of these cars on my Instagram, and I have had a ton of messages from people going, the noise. And yeah, look, we know times change. The manufacturers get involved in this sport because they want technology which is relevant to their road cars. So yes, at the minute it's a V6 turbo. Are the regs right this year? No, maybe not, but they're being tweaked by the FIA. V8s and V10s will always be cool, you know. It's great to see them back out. There has to be progress in the sport as well, but I can't deny that this is a favourite era of mine in Formula One, and I think Tony as well is smiling away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this was the time and the years between 2002 and 2007-8 where I followed Formula One really closely. Obviously, Kimi was driving first in another team, and then the first year in Ferrari 07 when he won the World Championship. And I started in Ferrari as well with the GT cars. Mika Salo was driving GT cars here in US in American Le Mans Series.
Whoa.
So we had a strong lineup of Finnish drivers in Ferrari. And actually the same year, Kimi won the World Championship in F1. Mika Salo won the ALMS and I won the FIA GT.
No way, that's cool, isn't it?
And we had a good season-ending celebration in Mugello. That year the finals were in Mugello, and was really cool times. And also there, when you win, when you do good results.
Have a look on the left here, by the way, at pit wall. There are a ton of people hanging their phones out through the gap. There they go. Look, you see them all pan like at a tennis match. They all go left as the car comes by. It's brilliant. I saw on the first lap, all the phones sweep, all the heads turn. Go on, Tony. Sorry, yeah.
Also those years so busy that you don't really realize what you're doing, how the things went, but it was amazing times and good memories. And yeah, when you see cars like this, it brings back the memories when they were actually racing. And another thing is these cars are a real investment because the value just keeps going up. Feels like the last few years, every year in auction, there's a Ferrari F1 car that hits a new record. So we want to see these cars actively on track, not only in the museums. And this is the right way to respect the story of this car, respect the story of this era. And maybe the ones who decide for the future of F1, they don't need to go through the videos. Come for the Ferrari racing weekends to see the cars, and they can make their own conclusions.
I know a ton of people who would have come just to stand trackside just for 5 minutes to watch this. So I was sitting in here earlier going through my stats. So in between the races, I go through my stats about who's won, you know, etc., to get ready for race 2. And I was sitting in here and I heard them fire up in pit lane. I said, no, I must stay and do my work. So I sat and I carried on for a bit, and then at the start shot, I've got to go outside. So it's out through the fire exit, through the back of the kitchens to be on the fence between turn 19 and turn 20. Stood on the Armco. and just stood and listened and watched. So on the arm cut between 19 and 20, you can hear them coming through the S's. You then hear them come down the length of the straight to 12, and the whole of the arena through 13, 14, 15, round the long corners, and then it comes blasting past you just where we are here. And you can see the people on the fence again, and it's just brilliant. It goes through you, the noise.
Yeah, and a few years back, Ferrari gave us all endurance drivers a little present. First, there was a little bit of gossip if it's going to happen or not, and then they just said you're gonna stay the day after. I think it was 1 year of the finals or something like that, and we were 8, 9 endurance drivers. Some of us have history in F1, Fisichella, Giovinazzi, these drivers, but most of us, we never reached F1. So Ferrari gave us a present of driving.
No way.
2008 F1. We had 3-4 runs of 3-4 laps each, so around 10 to 12 laps.
Wow.
In Mugello, and it was nice. When you jump in first from a GT car, either it's a challenge or a GT3 or GT2, things were just happening so fast. The upshift, how reactive the car was, the braking, everything. I couldn't get the car close to the limit. Then you have a little bit of time to reflect. When you come out for the first time, you say, this is not for me.
It's too much.
Too
yeah,
much,
really.
Too
wow.
much going on. The second time you go in, not that bad. The third time, the thought process is, actually, this happened to me. If I would get a couple of days, maybe I could do it.
You can get there.
Yeah.
The confidence grows. But of course, that's why they send you out for several short stints as well. As it's no point in sending you out for 18 laps in one. Like this car, yesterday ran for the whole 15 minutes and 7, 8, 9 laps or whatever. You wouldn't have wanted to do it that way because as a driver, I guess you got out of the car and
you jump out, then you have time to reflect a little bit. Hey, I can move the braking point another 50 meters because there obviously all the distances and everything what the car is capable of doing, I'm not aware. So every time you jump out, you have a little bit of time to check the data or listen the other drivers do their laps, and then you keep improving. And the braking is unbelievable. And until a certain point at high speed, the faster you go, more grip you have.
Yes.
And the
Which
car
is madness,
the car doesn't really work at slow speed in these corners. And when you take it to the real limit of the car, which I'm not able to do, but when there's a real driver, it's amazing.
And the thing is, most competition cars don't actually work unless you're pushing them hard because they're stiff and they want to be leaned on, they want to be grabbed and thrown around. But an F1 car, of course, is the absolute limit of that technology, and then you have all the aero to deal with too. Listen to this down the straight, listen to this. Look at the braking point is hilarious. You look at where the rubber is from Challenge, the Pirelli rubber, and the Challenge cars have got big brakes and a lot of grip from Pirelli. They're very good. But then when you look at the F1 car, he's still, we were saying yesterday, we went with the onboard with Lewis Flory, and he's doing 170 plus miles an hour as he gets to the braking point in 12. A little bit of a lock up there, and you saw the lost time on the exit. And you're like, oh, he's leaving it really late, and then it's here. For another second, deep into that braking zone, and still it stops. That must have been mad, wasn't it, when you first used the brake?
Yeah, the braking distance and how effective everything is in that area, it's amazing.
I think one of the things people don't quite understand, obviously all motorsport is tricky, and if you're fast and consistent, that's incredible. To be either is good, but to be both is amazing. But to be fast and consistent to the level at which the current F1 drivers are, lap after lap after lap, turn after turn, braking point after braking point, it's almost a robotic level of repetition.
It is true, but that happens already at the younger age. If you go to the Go-Kart World Championship, inside 1 second there can be 100 drivers.
So you have to be perfect.
You have to be perfect, you have to be very consistent, and that's where you make the difference. So that's why the best, or most of the best drivers move forward, because they have the pure speed, but then they have also the qualities to do 20 laps. A few years back, some other Formula One teams were posting lap times of their driver, and it's amazing to do a 20-lap stint, which is inside of 1/10.
Yeah,
something like this. So consistency is one key part. Before, F1 drivers had the luxury of a lot of testing. they had the test teams. Ferrari had even up to 3 or 4 test teams, so you could have one car in Barcelona, one in Mugello, one in Imola, one in Monza, or one in Fiorano, and you could get a lot of seat time. So when you're actually doing your real test in a race or qualifying, you are super fit. Nowadays the test is very limited, so drivers come with only a couple of days of testing pre-season, and then it's the first race. So that changes a lot the approach also, so drivers need to train a lot more, and you need to have a certain program to be ready when the season starts. Before you could practice until you want, and today is not possible in F1. Everything is very limited.
That was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? A return to the pits. There are 5 F1 cars here this weekend, but not all of them out in every session. Have a look at this. Look, here's a bit of slow motion. Tony said yesterday the tyres, yeah, in terms of the graining, Tony.
Yeah, it looks like the setup again is quite on the rear axle. So what you want with these cars is to have a very solid rear. At 100, 150 miles per hour, you don't want oversteer. So it looks like the front tires are graining a bit. So if it was an actual race like it was back in the day, you would try to move the setup a little bit and the balance in a way that you have a little bit more control on the front tires, a little bit less understeer. But in these occasions, I think the 488 GT Modificata, the 499P, the F1 cars, even the X6 cars are set up in a way that maybe on the lap time there is few tenths if you would trim the rear wing, or if you would stiffen the rear, or if you would lower the front. But they just want to keep it in a certain window and more or less same and similar for everybody.
Yeah, kind of safe window.
Exactly.
But still mega fast.
Yes.
A lot of fun. A huge amount of fun. Okay, we are going to take a short break here, but do stay with us because Trofeo Pirelli is coming up. We are targeting a 16:20 race start time. That's 4:20 p.m. That's in 14 minutes' time. That is a slightly moving feast with obviously the barrier damage there was earlier on, but we'll get things back underway as quickly as we can. We will be on air a few minutes before the start, so if you're just chilling at home, leave your screens on, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, USA. We're here, of course, for round 3, or weekend number 3 of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. Started the season, of course, over at Thermal. Then we moved across to Sebring, COTA, Laguna Seca, Sonoma, Road America, and the Finale Mondiali in Spain in November. For those drivers who are at the top of their title chase. If you missed the Copper Shell race, there was a bit of drama there, and both championship leaders now have a decent gap to their rivals. Remember, at the top of Pirelli, which is coming up, Mitchell Green and Jan Bernier are tied on points, and this is the circuit on which they are going to do battle. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me, Tony Verlander. We're all fired up, Tony. It's been a stop-start afternoon with the incidents, but we are good to go.
Yeah, track layout we know by now. There's been some issues. Turn 1, if drivers go off the racing line all the way to over the exit curb, and when rejoining, there is a little bit of disconnection and few cars spinning to the inside of exit turn 1. Also T9, the turn 9, going a little bit of uphill, riding that exit curb, and cars being spinning to the inside barrier. Drama in Pirelli. Kaminsky in T-car, starting P8. Perina spun. How are his tires for the race? So a lot of question marks, and maybe interesting race just to follow how Johnny Kaminsky, the young championship leader, how he handles the pressure.
Absolutely. He started every other race this year from the pole. This morning we thought he was going to start on the front row. He did a lap for that, but as he's had to enter a different chassis, so you remember he had a reset this morning in qualifying, he is now going to start the race in a borrowed car, and that means he'll have to start from the back of the Pirelli pack. 39C on track, 30 degrees in the air, still cooler than it was yesterday, very similar to the Copper Shell outing earlier on today. Somebody who's out in the weather is Nina Jade Paul. She's in pit lane.
Yes, I am out in the weather. The wind has calmed down a little bit because it did get quite windy during that Copper Shell race, and you didn't know where to look during that Copper Shell race. It was crazy, but the big story this afternoon is, of course, Johnny Kaminsky's car issues. We saw during quali he had some issues with his car. His backup car also had some issues. So now he is using a backup car, meaning he has had no track time in this car whatsoever. The Pirelli Championship leader has got some work to do. Of course, the penalty for switching cars is starting in the back of your class, hence why he's starting in 8th position today. But it just makes for a more exciting race for us, watching him plough through the field. Not long now till we go green.
Thanks, Nina Jade. Yeah, I think this is his car now with the number 2 and the T on it. Yes, it is. So 2 is his race. Number T means T-car. So I'm trying to think who else we saw who had this weekend. Chuck Whittle was running his T-car all weekend after he'd had issues. So if the T's on the side of the car, it's either the spare car or another car. So in this case, it's a third car, as Nina Jade explained. So, Tony, we saw some pictures via Brian, his dad, of the cars on the scales. It's not a case of just, I know this is a one-make championship, we're just getting another one. It's not that simple. There's a lot of dialing in to do.
A lot of preparation. Obviously, the car needs to be by the rules, so ride height, other stuff measured, that everything is correct before you enter the race. And then each team, each engineer has his little secrets, how to mount everything, how to do the final touches, how to do things a bit differently than the other teams, that maybe brings a little bit more performance. Now Johnny doesn't have his own car, so interesting to see how that spare car handles underneath him, what he can do with it. And the information we got, he has new tires, so starting from P8, last in Pirelli class, but he has the performance also from new tires. But how does the car react breaking into turn 1? He doesn't know.
Exactly, because he hasn't had a lap in it. He hasn't. Well, the lap he's just done. He's just had his reconnaissance lap, and that is it. Let's head down to Nina Jade Paul.
Before I say some of my favourite words of the weekend, can I just say it's been such a special weekend here at COTA. Ferrari Racing Days, so much action and so much happiness and joy. But for the final time this weekend, drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Here we go. Up close and personal with the 296 Challenge engine and those fantastic exhausts sticking out the back of the car. That's going to be the view that some people have got the car in front. That's your mirrors as we have a look and see what's going on behind you. That's if you don't get your mirrors knocked off in turn 1. They're one of the most popular things to get knocked off in turn 1, as they stick out the side of the car, like as all mirrors do if you go door to door. We've seen a number of those, particularly Sebring. I think there was a fair few mirrors left lying on the track. Okay, so looking at the grid, Joe Rubo and Mitchell Green, Jan Bernier. Green and Bernier, remember, they're at the front of Pirelli Am, and they are, we think, from yesterday, tied exactly on points because Rubbo took the point for pole this morning. Johnny Kaminsky, obviously, you would normally be used to. You can see him as he's 4 back on the left-hand side of the grid. So the white car with the red stripes over the top is Kaminsky. Normally, of course, he is the white car with the yellow, bright yellow fluoro wheels. So key ride for him. Matthew DL, better qualifying today than he had yesterday. Moved up a few points towards the end of his session. That is, if I remember correctly, Frank Chang. Left-hand side then George Grinsvich heading out. Right-hand side is Favre. We're getting ourselves good to go. Here we go then. Final race of our weekend here for Ferrari Challenge North America, weekend number 3. Cars are rolling out here for the Trofeo Pirelli Encounter, our final race here at COTA, weekend number 3 of Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. The big news in this one, you can see there in the white car with the red stripe over the top, is Johnny Kaminsky. Had an issue this morning in qualifying, posted a P2 lap time, but has had to swap chassis in the meantime. So he is now out on, we think, sticker tyres. He's in a different chassis, so he's having to scrub those tyres now on his warm-up lap. He doesn't know how that's going to go when he gets on the brakes. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Out front, Jeremy Clark on the pole, previous champion of this series. Manny Franco alongside, took a win earlier on this year at Thermal. Brian Cook on row number 2 and George Grinsvich third. I think that might be George's best start this year. Brad Favre and David Bitton. Bitton didn't race yesterday and was disappointed with his qualifying this morning. And then Roberto Perina and Johnny Kaminsky unusually far back on the grid. Joe Rubbo then and Mitchell Green. They are the first of your runners for Trofeo Pirelli Am, and then you have Jan Bernier and Jay Logan. Remember that Green and Bernier are equal on championship points, so whoever gets the better result will go away from here leading the standings at the halfway point in the American season. Harry Chung, Kevin Gutierrez on row number 7. Row number 8 is Michael Porter and Matthew DL. Row number 9, Martin Burrows and Frank Chang. And row number 10, Gerdas Venstelas. What can Kaminsky do then from where he is on the grid in a car he doesn't know? Yes, they are all similar. This is a one-make series, so there are no unfamiliar parts on the car, but whether they've had time to dial in his corner weights, exactly how he wants it, roll bar, springs, tyre pressures is easy, but all those various little settings, Tony, Kaminsky weighs next to nothing, so again, the corner weights will need sorting. There are so many things that need sorting.
Yeah, team has had a busy times between qualifying and now the race start, changing first to another car and then aboard that mission as well, and then to get a third car. So there's been a lot going on with his pit crew, and now it's very interesting to see the pace, the approach Johnny will have for the race. We see the father Brian, and it's about the championship. It's the importance of points, importance of having, we mentioned earlier with the Copa Shell race, sometimes a P4 or P5 in the race is very important instead of having that DNF. So very different race now for Johnny. A learning curve as well. In racing world, things change quickly, so you need to be also on top of the things, and when it's a green flag, then it's time to go.
I'm really keen to see what he does. Obviously, turn 1 on the first lap is when you want to make the most of anybody making mistakes, running wide. But
I would go outside.
Yeah, committing to the brakes when you don't know the car, and that he's on stickers that haven't been properly scrubbed. You know, he's only done 2 laps on them. We know that sort of 2 is the optimum to get the temperature in, but that might be after they're scrubbed anyway. So here we go. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Kaminsky at the back, the championship leader. 5 poles, 4 wins from the 5 races so far, but he is now behind 7 other cars on the run to the first corner. Jeremy Clark on the pole, we know as a previous champion, is very good indeed. And alongside him, Manny Franco. Look for the green flag on the left-hand side. They'll accelerate, they roll off, back on the brakes. Look, you see, in a big pack, wait for the green from the starter. There is the green.
Very late acceleration.
Yeah, off the line, nicely done. Jeremy Clark gets away. Manny Franco coming under pressure from Cook on the inside line. Kaminsky is way out wide at the back. And It's a nice, tidy start. Kaminski drops to the inside line on the exit. We didn't see. He does maybe get one. He might get Perina here. He'll have the left-hand side as he comes down on the right-hand side of his screen. Pirelli Am getting underway. Mitchell Green, and he's got past 3 cars, 4 cars. Kaminski moves up into P5 within 2 corners. Meanwhile, Jan Bernier inside Mitchell Green. Bernier from row number 2 up. Mitchell Green cuts the curb on the inside line. Bernier leads Green, almost runs wide, bit of contact nearly. Green's been swallowed up by the pack here, drops down into P5 or P6. Matthew Dill maybe come up in a couple of positions. Now they're getting into a line. George Grinsvich now under pressure on the left-hand side of your screen from Johnny Kaminski. Jan Bernier leads in the AM category, and Kaminski dives to the inside. Absolutely means business here. Kaminski still trying to make moves, but we drop back into the pack. And, okay, this is turn 10. Here they are now. Where is Kaminski? He's got Grinsvich. Yeah, he's alongside Grinsvich. Didn't manage to quite get through that gap, but he is alongside him on the run to turn 12. What happened through those S's? Oh, and he's going to have to duck in here sensibly. Franco in a battle here with Cook. He gets inside Grinsvich. Kaminski trying to come past. Grinsvich has the inside line for the right-hander. And Brian Cook has managed to get inside Franco. Franco makes the cut back now, side by side. Franco over the dirt on the inside. Grinsvich and Kaminski. Kaminski has to cut the corner here. He might have to give that position back. Franco is still side by side with Brian Cook. It is all kicking off. Kaminski still in P4. Good job on this first lap, but he may need to give up that position there for me with Grinsvich.
Yeah, great racing so far. Johnny Kaminski is really showing the talent. He's already up 5 positions. But like you mentioned, turn 14, it had happened before. While overtaking another car, he put 4 wheels off the track. So let's see. There was no space. And yeah, this is very exciting start.
Look at his dad there, Brian Kaminski.
Sunglasses coming down.
Sunglasses down, looking over the top like a stressed teacher. He knows that his boy's up against it here, so Johnny Kaminski up from P8 to P4, and in the background it's a pass on Grinsvich. Grinsvich losing out to David Beaton, making a pass, and Beaton nicely done up the inside. Grinsvich now in danger behind from Perina. There they are side by side. Perina goes around the side. Grinsvich has gone down 3 places in 1 lap here. Beaton's done well with Perina in behind. Brad Falver, I think, is at the back of this pack. Where is he? Yes, he is. Brad Falver with the blue with the red stripe over the top. Kaminski then is into P4 behind Manny Franco. Franco, of course, the driver who beat him earlier on this year at Thermal, but Kaminski on new tyres, absolutely, well, we think on new tyres, say different chassis, so has the penalty is starting at the back, but the bonus is starting a new rubber. Out wide, going to look inside now. Franco dives one way, then the other. Franco makes the 1 block that he's allowed. Kaminski will get the car back here and get on the gas early. Right in the slipstream now. We're going to get a brilliant view of this. Franco goes inside line. Kaminski trying to get alongside him. Cook on the right-hand side of your screen. They will be side by side as they come past the flip-flop. Kaminski surely going to get this done. Better braking line on the outside for Franco. Franco puts a squeeze on him. Kaminski, though, stays calm, gets the nose down. Franco trying to come around the outside line. Goes deep and runs it super wide. Wing mirror to wing mirror. Great job, Manny Franco, holding on to that position.
Yeah, now it was Manny Franco's turn to go off the racing line, off the track limits. He went all 4 wheels outside the track. Great fight. And Manny Franco didn't give the place very easily. And this has allowed the whole group to close up.
Yeah, Beaton's there, isn't he? So David Beaton is right in behind Kaminski. I know he was keen for a good show. He told me earlier, I just want to pass everyone. He's now got Kaminski in front of him. Of course, Kaminski has that same objective, wanting to get up through the field. Meanwhile, Jeremy Clark leads by 1.8 from Brian Cook. Good run here from Cook. Kaminski will want to get through if he can and try to make sure that Clark doesn't get away at the front. Now, Clark, I think, is probably here for a one-off weekend. So, from a championship standpoint, he certainly hasn't done the first 2. He's not going to be in the title fight, but he would like to get past Cook and Franco if he can. Fastest lap, David Beaton, 2:06.8. So he's done the quickest lap there with that pass into turn 1. And finally, Tony, things have calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, but still a great action. And
brilliant.
Yeah, great action. Also, Brian Cook is under a lot of pressure, so he needs to really look forward and really try to catch the leader, because there's a very aggressive 4-car line behind him. So this is there's a lot of aggression at this start, a lot of adrenaline.
There is, and the cars are super close together as well. You make a mistake here and you might not just lose 1 place, you could end up losing 3. Mitchell Green is, where is he now? So he's in P3. In front of him, Joe Rubbo. Behind him, as you can see, Jay Logan. So Jay Logan, I think, was yesterday's winner. Mitchell Green folds his arms on the graphic. He's got no time to do that right now. It is Jay Logan yesterday had pole, fastest lap and the win. Green, you can hear monstering the curbs. Hard on the cars here, definitely. Running all the way around the outside there of turn 8 before 9, where we've seen a couple of people drop it. Bernier getting away a little bit out front. Jan Bernier has a lead of 1.5 over Joe Rubbo. Mitchell Green trying to break that toe behind him. And this is a move on the inside line. I think it's Porter and Chang. I think it's Chang up the inside of Porter, but Porter now looking at coming back alongside. And Porter, I think, does take the position back. So, yeah, Chang and Porter swapping positions twice. Meanwhile, out front, this is kicking off, isn't it? This is the best race of the weekend, definitely. Our director has his work cut out for him here. He's having to chop between two brilliant battles at the front. So, yeah, tough work for us and the whole of the TV crew when the fights are like this, but it is good. This is what we enjoy, is when we have to go there, and the drivers have to go there too. Franco monsters the curbs, gets sideways. He's desperate now to get onto Cook. Wants to get past it. Kaminsky closes up. Kaminsky right on the apex here. Watch for a three-way pass up at turn 1. Kaminsky early on the throttle. Franco now is almost in the slipstream of Cook. Might be able to get a bit of a toe on the inside to turn 1. Will Cook go defensive? Franco goes one way, then the other. Cook goes defensive. Kaminsky has stayed calm and stayed on his line. This is where he made the passes on the first run of the first lap. He made one pass on the way in, Tony, and we didn't see what he did through the S's, but he managed to get past another 3 cars. So happy hunting ground, but no cigar this time.
Yeah, Brian Cook is having one of the best races of the season. He's P2 right now. The leader is not far ahead, and also defending with the right pace and defending some of the places. So this is helping the whole group to stay together, and this is very, very exciting.
Brilliant racing. Mitchell Green has just done the fastest lap, as you saw in Trofeo Pirelli Am, but still sits in P3. There's only across the top 3 in Pirelli Am, there's only something like 2.7 seconds. But this is where the battle is at. People are making dummy moves in nearly every corner. Beaton now in a great position behind Kaminsky. Kaminsky's got his mirrors full of Rosso Red, trying to find a way to hold him off, but and he does. Gets a better exit there. So Kaminsky seems to be on a fire here from the hairpin. Look at the exit he's got. Perina behind. He's flashing his lights at Beaton in front, the Canadian driver. Leading the Canadian karting championship at the minute, he told me at lunchtime. Whoa, and very close there. Kaminsky, I think, had to back out of it, not to hit Franco on the brakes.
Yeah, that was really close, breaking into 12. So you're coming one of the fastest point of the racetrack and hard braking zone. Johnny almost running the back of Manny Franco's car.
Did well to miss him. Borrowed car as well, remember. He won't want to put any damage on it if he could possibly help it. And I'm sure the owner will be watching on with interest. Was it Jason McCarthy? I think he's borrowed the car from. Yeah, so a big shout out to Jason for lending the car to Johnny Kaminsky so he could continue his championship fight here while they couldn't get the issues sorted in time. Franco is, again, this is the bit here. So for me, in 19 or possibly 17 through 19, Franco and Kaminsky are a little bit quicker than Cook. The rest of the lap, Cook seems to have it dialed in.
Yeah, there is a little bit of speed differences around the lap. Now Manny Franco is close again. He's really looking for, let's see if there is a very late move.
Does look inside, not close enough, and Kaminsky's waiting for this look because it just allows him to get onto the back of it. If the move's not on, it gives Kaminsky the advantage here. But Franco's got to try. Where to pass, Tony?
You need to have the pressure all the time. If a driver ahead makes a mistake, then you have a good chance. Also the wide areas, like we saw turn 1. Now we're closing turns 8, 9, but then
Joe Rubbo's got a problem, so Rubbo's dropped out. That puts Mitchell Green up into P2. So Green moves up behind his title rival. Jan Bernier leads from Mitchell Green. The gap between them as they cross the line, 1.7 seconds. Logan is up into P number 3 and Rubbo dropping down the field. Here is that fight for the lead, and it's the fight not just for the lead of the race, but the lead of the championship as well. Great stuff. What a way to finish the Ferrari races weekend here at COTA.
Yeah. Watching the distance between Mitchell Green and Bernier, something happened to Bernier last lap because Mitchell was 1 second faster. I don't know if Bernier and Rubbo had something going on or not.
Yeah, could be, couldn't it? That might explain it. Look at this now. Franco going defensive in the background. Beaton is under big pressure from Perina as well. Perina trying to find a way through. Beaton runs a bit wide. Perina looking again inside in the background. Red and white car with the yellow lights on the front of it. Kaminsky still can't find a way through. This is the bit where they seem to gain a tiny bit on Brian Cook. Brian Cook doing a fantastic job. This is that technical section, so watch through these next corners. Tony, you might be able to pick up where they're making the gains on Cook through here.
Yeah, again, Manny Franco running a very tight line here through 17, 18. And I think it's the speed here, speed through 19, because you cannot really stop the car that much, riding that inside curb and with a lot of speed into the corner. But also the drivers driving this hard for the first 10 minutes, they are overheating their tires. So more laps, Brian Cook is able to keep these drivers behind him, more is coming towards him. Because the way Manny and Johnny are following cars very closely at high speed, you have more understeer, and then you need to brake later. You don't have the clean air in ahead of the race car. So this will be an issue for the next 90 minutes to see what happens with Manny and Johnny with their tires. And looks like Mitchell has more pace.
Yeah, he's just done the fastest race. Sorry, he's just done, he did the fastest lap of the race earlier, but looking at Brian Cook's done a 2:06.4. So Cook actually on the lap where we were watching to see the gain, they didn't gain, and it's almost like he's figured out they're getting me in turn 19. So Cook is doing a fantastic job here. Mitchell Green 2:06, yeah, 1 second quicker than Bernier. So Green has definitely got pace on his old title rival from last year. Remember, Green won the Copper Shell title ahead of Jan Bernier, and they both moved up into Trofeo Pirelli Am, and here they are again fighting for the next title up. I'm looking forward to seeing if they move up another category again next year. The ladder of opportunity here at Ferrari Challenge really working. And look at Green close down now.
And this is the race result that Green wants. Yesterday was not a good day. Lap time cancelled in qualifying. Then a lot of things going on. He's driving everything, F1, F2. He did the historic Formula 1 in Monaco a week or two ago. And but today he's been in the top form, good qualifying. And as soon as Rubo had the technical issue, then Mitchell was able to close the gap with the leader, Bernier.
You're on board, you see Mitchell Green just reach up there. Have a look at his mirrors. He's pulling the paddles into 6th gear. What are you looking at here, Tony, on the dash?
Yeah, on
sectors?
the dash, the settings, 1, 1, and 4. Maybe he's running a higher TC. Need to double check that later on.
Gap at the front, 1.8 between Clark and Cook, 0.5 to Franco, 0.4 to Kaminsky, so we know it's still close. Oh no, full course yellow, what a shame. So full course yellow when we're under great race conditions here in both classes.
If
So
it's a quick one, then we get a lot of action.
that can be quick, surely. Where's that? Top of turn one.
Is it turn 1?
That's on the inside. Right on the inside of turn 1. What a shame. That's not particularly in danger there, but there we go. Safety first.
Yeah, hopefully they get that car picked up very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. If all 4 wheels are on it, you can get a strap on it and tow it away. We saw this earlier today. I think we only spent 1 lap behind the full course yellow. Yes, the guys are out already. That might even be that they can tow it back into the gap between the Armco there. The driver's done well. They've done their best to get that out of the way. And also, you know, okay, Burrows is off as well. So maybe this was 2 incidents at the same time, which would explain the full course. Yeah, is Burrows trying to reverse out through the gap as well? Whereabouts is he trying to figure? That's in the complex. That's at 14. So I remember watching from the tower. So that's just on the outside of turn 14. So if the marshals can push that back through the gap, that won't need recovering. Okay, good stuff from the driver. Really unselfish behaviour from the drivers, really sporting of them to try to get their cars out of the way and allow what is undoubtedly the race of the weekend to continue. What about that, Tony? We can have a little discussion now. We've got time.
Yeah, this will be very interesting. So everything to play for. I think Johnny was driving so hard in the beginning of the race, so he killed the tires a bit too much. Manny Franco at the restarts normally is very, very good. Clark had the pace, but he didn't clear by seconds. He was still there, and like I said, Brian Cook is doing, I think, one of his best races so far this season. And also Mitchell Green, the last 2 laps in Pirelli Am, he was lapping 1 second faster than Bernier, the race leader. So very interesting to have this restart shortly.
Brian's Cook best result so far this year was P3 in the first race at Sebring.
Yeah, Sebring, he was in a good position, but then defending a bit and then maybe lost some place.
Trying to see if I've got the stats from last year to see where he finished, but I don't have right now.
Yeah, at Sebring, when there was a contact between Berina and Kaminsky, so then Brian Cook and the others, they were suddenly leading the race.
So this is really interesting for me because the gap obviously the gap here between Pirelli Am and Pirelli is closing up. Let's look at the lap times. We can't. So the best lap times we can see, Brad Falvera's best at 2:06.8 is 4/10 up on Bernier's best, who leads Pirelli Am. Mitchell Green at 2:06.4. So I would say the pace between the back of Pirelli and the front of Pirelli Am is very similar. Having said that, obviously if Bernier is having to look at the car in front and the car behind, it's now double jeopardy in terms of protecting that position as best he can.
And also for the driver's mindset, it's always a bit different when you're clearly racing a driver that is in your category, and then when there is in the middle a car that this car is not against me, so then the mindset is always different. And when there is some speed differences or situations ahead of you, this can open opportunities to Mitchell Green, and then Jan Bernier needs to be really aware where Mitchell is and how the corners go.
Absolutely, and Jay Logan is right in behind them. Jay, yesterday's winner, I say, with pole and fastest lap. So Jay will want another good result here. Kaminsky with a little bit of tyre warming. Franco's been doing the same. I think the safety car stayed out.
I would say we go racing next time by. Next lap, one more lap.
We're hearing from race control, Tony, sorry to interrupt. It looks like green on the next time by, so one more lap behind. Sorry, that's what you were saying.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's, sorry, I was getting a message. We're seeing green lights on the gantry. That was a bit of a mistake. Oh, what a shame. So we were literally probably 30 seconds there from being able to go green on this lap. So, okay, reset for the drivers. Who's going to do what here? Kaminsky really went at the first start. Does he try and mug drivers? But the guys in front of him are no mugs.
Yeah, I think Clark, the best thing is for him to really slow down, have the whole group together between 19 and 20, be ready to go. But I would say in the middle of last corner, because he's in the right place and the other drivers cannot accelerate before the corner, because they need to do the corner, one of the slowest corners on track in a certain speed.
Yeah, it is.
So he needs to decide, and I would say apex 20, go for it. Use all the track limits, low position in traction control, right gear, and go for it.
Look at this queue of cars. Ben Sylvester in the back there, Chang just in front. Here is your Pirelli Am leaders. That's Bernier, Green, Jay Logan. Behind Logan's Gutierrez, Chung Diel, Porter and Chang. All to play for here. Burrows, Rubbo, Hopkins didn't make the start. Rubbo only 4 laps in, Burrows only 5, so they're all out.
Yeah,
Burrows we saw parked
2 DNFs. Or was it DNF also yesterday?
At least the contact. Yeah, the contact yesterday when he was trying to pass Chang. So this heat in place to make sure your brakes are up to temperature, and you can see everybody just getting a bit of a wiggle on so they can jump on I was going to say the quiet pedal, because the one of them's the loud pedal, but you jump on the other pedal and just make sure that your brakes are all up to temperature, ready for any dives up into turn 1, if you fancy a move. Jeremy Clark did a good job. Is there a chance here that Clark was very comfortable in the position he was in and that he's managed his tyres well? I mean, we know they were going quick behind, but there was a lot of attempts at passing going on.
Yeah, for sure his tyres are well maintained, because he was doing a solid performance, controlling the pace. Maybe he has a lot of experience, so maybe there was no need to pull a 2, 3 or 4 or 5 second gap. So he was happy where he was at the time. He had no pressure. Brian Cook in P2 had the 4 cars behind him, putting a lot of pressure.
Okay, we're about to get going again. Jeremy Clark leads in the Pirelli category. Behind him is Cook, Franco and Kaminsky. Kaminsky in a borrowed car, trying to make his way up through the field. Perina has got past Bitton behind him. Didn't see that because Bitton had passed him at some point, hadn't he? So that's gone back the other way. Watch then for Clark trying to get the restart right. I think the others were caught napping a little bit there, so Brian Cook's been left a little bit behind. That's given a gap to Jeremy Clark. He'll be happy about that. Yeah, very evenly spread. Look in the background, though. This is the fight for Pirelli Am. Bernier with Mitchell Green right behind him, so that might be where our pass attempt is going to be on this one. Pirelli drivers up front, and indeed Bernier and Mitchell Green both have a look up the inside there. Brad Falver, I think it is, the rear gunner car for the Trofeo Pirelli category, and Joe Logan has gone with them. So the front 3 here in Pirelli Am really looking to find a way through. Train of cars coming past. Falver gets away a little bit now. Mitchell Green right there with Jan Bernier, and Logan there to pick up the pieces if they get into any trouble. Big cut on the inside for Bernier in terms of what they're using on the track. They are allowed to cut the curbs there. But yeah, this is going to be tight.
I was very surprised for the restart, the gaps they were
Me too.
between the drivers. Normally Manny Franco is really on it at the start. Now he has closed the gap to Brian Cook, and let's see here.
Franco
Turn
trying
11.
to find a way through if he can. Looks to the inside line.
Oh, look!
Oh,
to the
does
lead!
Cook and contact between all the
From
way up
third
the
to the lead.
inside. Wow, absolutely brilliant pass. What's happened? Cook has got a problem. Oh no, off! Huge shunt on the left-hand side. Contact and off. Is that Jeremy Clark? I think it is from the front of the pack. I'm not sure there is a, or is it? I think it's Clark. I think it's Clark, but a lot happened. Full course yellow immediately. Franco up the inside. They've all backed off coming down the straight.
What happened there?
Wow.
So Manny Franco.
It is Clark. Okay, so that's a full course yellow again, and just as we got going, everybody backed off. No changes in position in the background. Franco leads from Kaminsky and Beaton up into P3. I think in the background, Roberto Perina's got some damage to the nose of his car. Another restart. Temperatures will be very different now, having sat for a little while. It's not like last time where they carried out on track. They're not. Nothing's going to be cold. We're not at that point. Yeah, there will still be residual temps in tyres and brakes and everything, but they won't be at race temp like they were before. Keep your eye on that clock, left-hand side of the screen. It's about when that starts. So if that starts when they come over the start-finish line, we're in for 3 laps. If it starts when any time on this rollout lap, then we might only get 1 or 2. I think Mitchell Green, he's in behind Jan Bernier. I noticed earlier at the end and straight into 11, Mitchell got a better turn in. Thought he would turn back out, back in again. That's what you were saying, Tony, about trying not. Look at the dirt on Mitchell's screen. That's from the debris that was out on track. So directly in front of him is a black smudge. We saw Mitchell Green hit some of the debris as he came through. They all did their best to avoid it. Jan Bernier in front of him. Lights are on the safety car. I think we get a full 5 minutes here. So this could be an exciting end to the weekend here at COTA.
Hopefully no more drama.
Yeah, that's just what I'm thinking too. That's just what I'm thinking too. Everybody needs to keep a chilled head. Logan is a little way back from green. They've been caught sleeping, but there's a bucket off one of the safety vehicles there out on the outside of the track, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Lights on the safety car still.
Let's see how much dust.
I wouldn't be going left side of the track right now. I'd stay over on the right. Oh, the visibility is going to be tricky there, isn't it? I don't think a traction issue, Tony. I think you're far enough up the rev bands and the gears by then.
Yeah, no issues. And normally that clears. Now the drivers and cars go over it already once, so next lap it will be less. Only if you go all the way to the left-hand side, then you will have more dust up in the air.
Which, of course, would be what you wanted to do if you were looking for a slipstream down the long straight into turn 12, which is the corner they're just coming through now in the background. So the field has closed up a little bit in the background.
And again, the championship thing. Manny Franco most likely doesn't do the whole championship.
Yeah.
Johnny Kaminsky bring home the P2. Piton, first podium.
Yes, good point, yeah.
What are you going to do with Brian Cook?
Chill and take it,
Yeah.
Perina, of course.
No.
Let's see the championship standings. It's Brad Falvera. So Falvera is in P6, Roberto Perina is 3rd, and Brian Cook is 4th. So for Kaminsky, yeah, it's a little bit the situation we saw earlier with Kozira. You know, did she need or want to make the pass or just hang on to good points? And in the end, she got the good points, and her rivals did not. So Kaminsky, considering the fact he's borrowed a car for this race, which he hadn't done a lap in until we saw the green flag, this would be a great result. He started in P8. We haven't seen any news about penalties yet.
That was close.
Okay, everybody getting stacked up now. Remember, temperatures won't quite be there. Franco will lead them away. Franco then, and the clock will start as they cross the start-finish line. Manny Franco away. 5 minutes, we should get 3 laps racing in here. Look in the background for Bernier and Green. And Franco looked warm in his tyres as he comes up to turn 1. Behind him, Kaminsky keeps the car straight. David Beaton looking for a way through. Beaton is late on the brakes. So we're missing Manny Franco's timing on the graphics. There he is. He comes back in, cuts in across the front of Kaminsky. Kaminsky looking really good here. So Kaminsky maybe feeling more comfortable with the car with the temperatures the way they are after the short break. Franco knows he's there. Brian Cook having a look behind Cook. Remember, having a fantastic race here. Was in P2 for a lot of it. Heavy damage on the aesthetics of the front of the car, but shouldn't affect the performance too much for him. I wonder if anyone's going to try the move again. This is the move, remember, where Franco made a late dive up the inside line. Kaminsky surely too far back. He's going to have a look, but he doesn't. In behind, Jan Bernier is behind Favre, who's carrying damage on that car, and I don't think anybody's close enough here for a slipstream. Beaton dropping just a little way back on the exit of turn number 11. Remember, it's a battle for the lead in the standings here. Oh, again. Yeah. It's close here between Kaminsky and Franco. Kaminsky and Franco at 170 miles an hour as they approach the braking board into turn number 12. This is not over yet, is it? Look at Kaminsky, got good front end grip. He's got that hooked up, Tony.
Yeah, Kaminsky's car and the setup looks really good. And like you mentioned, it can be also a temperature thing, tire pressure thing. He just has a lot of grip. Maybe the new tires. Oh, Brian Cook!
Brian Cook spins, nearly gets collected by Grinsvich. Grinsvich avoids him. Cook off backwards. He's not in the wall, so hopefully we'll get that car started. We're on board with Mitchell Green. That's as close as you can get to a Ferrari without parking it in the parking lot. Could not have been closer to Bernier, almost swapping paint. Bernier continues to lead. Green continues to use the full track width. And out front, Manny Franco runs over track limits just about, but that it seems to be allowed in turn 19. Turn 20, not so much. Franco out to the edge. Kaminsky, I think, has got better boots here. I really do. The white flag's out for final lap, so despite the timing, here we go. Kaminsky, this is his best chance. Franco knows it. Franco goes super defensive. Kaminsky dives out wide. He wants the better exit. He's got to transfer the weight of the car, though, through here. Try and find the grip. He is almost alongside Franco. Kaminsky will pull another gear. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Around the outside, Johnny Kaminsky, all the way around the outside, still side by side, sideways over the curbs. Whoa! Has to give it up. Big sideways moment for Kaminsky. Franco continues to lead. Brilliant stuff between these two. David Beaton is in clear air behind Grinsvich a little way further back. Wow, Tony.
Yeah, that was crazy close. Going side by side to the S's. I don't want to do that.
No, that's not what we were expecting, is it? So there's only another couple of opportunities into this next corner. This is 10, then 11. So look for an opportunity here. Kaminsky, again, have another dive. Doesn't this time round. Franco decides not to cover him off either. Kaminsky wanting the good exit. Now, Kaminsky's turn-in up at 12 was absolutely bang on last time. He had the nose hooked up. Franco will know it, but if Kaminsky can get a better exit here, he could maybe go outside to inside, try and line him up into 13.
Look, he's defending all the way.
Yeah, he's right on the white line on the inside. Franco will come back across. Kaminsky will look to the inside line here. Kaminsky with good tyres on this car, but Franco's still holding me up to the outside line. In here now, Kaminsky again. Franco's doing a great job of defending. This is where Mitchell Green passed yesterday. One wheel over the dirt, not enough room for Kaminsky. It's the Green move from yesterday. Kaminsky up the inside, pushes Franco out over the apron. Exit 16. Franco holds the inside line through 17, 18. Kaminsky will try and come through again. He's still got the nose in there. A dab of the brake to tuck it back inside. No way through. Surely he can't get it done now. Kaminsky on the brakes, pitches the car in. Rotation from the rear of the 296. Manny Franco sideways over the curbs. Franco coming into the final corner. On the gas here, Manny Franco and Kaminsky with a brilliant battle when the checker flag falls. Manny Franco takes the win. Kaminsky P8 up to P2. David Beaton with his first podium. And the win looking AM goes to Jan Bernier. He got past Favre. Mitchell Green and Jay Logan complete the podium there. What a way to finish our weekend here. Brian Kaminsky over the moon with the 111 team. That's a great job there. P2 is what you do in a championship situation. Borrowed car starting in P8. What a race to finish the weekend, Tony Villander.
Wow, what a show. And I would still call it a fair fight. Manny Franco went off the track limits, 4 wheels in the exit of 16 when they went side by side.
But Kaminsky put him there,
yeah,
didn't he?
but what a fight. And that was awesome,
great.
Awesome to see. Side by side, 17. Not enough grip for Johnny. Manny had the inside line. Wow, what a last 2 laps.
That was really, really good, wasn't it? I love having to stretch my legs, and the boys have made me have to stretch my legs just there. Great way to end the Ferrari Racing Days Ferrari Challenge weekend.
Johnny was not thinking about the championship.
No,
he was going for the win.
He wanted the win, didn't he? He wanted the win. But great job. And what a way to keep his head, to jump in a car that he hasn't done a lap in. Jan Bernier as well, great drive. Don't know where he got past Favre. There was so much going on in front, we didn't even have time to look at Am. And you know what, that whole encounter was a bit like that. We had a great battle at the front of Pirelli and Pirelli Am. throughout. It's a shame for the shunt for Jeremy Clark, definitely. I'm sorry for Jeremy. Jeremy, it's been a pleasure to have you back in this series. Driver says won it before, and yeah, there we go. That's the way it goes. But a great race, and good. I'm really pleased that Race Control gave us a couple of minutes of green flag racing at the end. 2 laps to sign off a fantastic weekend here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, this was awesome. And what an amazing weekend. Just the atmosphere in the paddock, Casa Ferrari with the X66, hospitality, Club GT,
F1 Clienti, everything. Yeah.
10,000 people
Yeah.
during the weekend. Getting close eye on the F1 cars, the prototype cars, our Ferrari Challenge drivers. So
yeah, really open pits.
Last night,
yeah, the dude, drones and Ferrari logos in the sky. Yeah, it's been a proper racing days weekend. Franco's coming in hot.
He's
yeah, that was a great race. Confirmation of the result then, Manny Franco by 0.4 of a second from Kaminsky. That didn't tell the whole story because it was a great battle. Brilliant job by David Beaton, over the moon. 17, 18 years old, I think 18 maybe in P3.
Maybe 17 also.
Yeah, first podium in Ferrari Challenge, so good job by him. George Grinchevich, great in P4. Foul for a 5th with damage on the car. Brian Cook 6th with damage on the car. Perina, of course, ended up parking it after he had that contact with Jeremy Clark. And that was really unfortunate. Clark was out in the lead but didn't get the win, I'm afraid. Ended halfway up the straight there. Pirelli Am, Jan Bernier from Mitchell Green. So Bernier will lead the standings. I'm going to take a look at my points calculation by 3 points, I think, because they were equal on points coming into this one. Jay Logan, yesterday's winner on the podium in P3. Then Gutierrez, Chung DL, Venceslas, Frank Chang in P8. And then you've got Porter, Burrows, Rubbo and Hopkins. Goodness me. Manny Franco. Yeah, he earned it. He knows that was a good fight, didn't he? Big hug from his team. Tony Villander needs to go to the podium. Tony, a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much, as always. You're a legend, and what a fun weekend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jan Bernier over the moon. Look at that. Joy for him. Jay Logan pulls in the background. David Beaton, we have confirmed he's 18 years old, so it's a great result for him. Gates being shut on Parc Ferme. Laptops coming in to download the data, and maybe the onboards as well, try and figure out what on earth went on the exit turn 11 about halfway through that race. When we'd just done 10 minutes and we had like 20 minutes to go, I thought if this carries on like this for 20 minutes, it's going to be wild, but not this time. Tony Villander, see you later. Tony's heading off to the podium, and Manny Franco is with Nina Jade Paul. I wonder what he can tell us about what was going on down there. The move into 11. What a brilliant race as well. The pressure from Kaminsky. Down to Nina Jade.
Manny, there is so much to unpack from that race. Everyone, including the teams, hearts in mouth, could not take their eyes away from the monitors. Firstly, talk us through the move that got you the lead.
I mean, like, you know, first of all, like, I hope Jeremy's okay. I did see him walk around, so I want to make that clear that I'm glad he's okay. Hopefully everything's all right. But yeah, the restarts always make races interesting, and for sure coming out of turn 9, I was a bit behind Perina there, and I had seen that some of the guys were a little weaker on the brakes, so during the whole the restart, prior to the restart, I was just warming up the tires and brakes as much as I could, and when I saw my opportunity, I knew I had to take it because Perina's a fantastic defender. So, like I said, like I'm happy that that it was good, but also that Jeremy's okay. So.
Well, in those final laps, you had an answer to everything that Johnny Kaminsky threw at you. You really showed your racecraft there, Manny. How satisfying is this win?
I mean, it's super satisfying, you know, because the thing is that, you know, starting out here in Ferrari Challenge, a lot of the moves that I make or things that I learned were from guys like Jeremy who, you know, we raced a while back, and, you know, it's all experience from every other driver. So I'm really happy that, you know, I'm here in COTA, beautiful track, and to get a win like this is great, but yeah.
Congratulations. Enjoy this.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely response from Manny Franco. Matt Dewsbury in the background there from Ferrari coming up. Johnny Kaminsky congratulates him as well. Look at that, the tiny bits of contact. Look, that was Franco running across the back of the bumper there from Cook. He made that move on Cook, which he made stick down in turn 11. Cook ran deep, then the chain reaction that caused the full course yellow, and then eventually a red for a bit. But what a brilliant encounter to finish the weekend. And I say lovely words from Manny Franco, checking first of all that his fellow racer Jeremy Clark was okay. Nina J. Paul is with our Pirelli Am winner, Jan Bernier.
Jan Bernier, first race win of the season for you, finally, and now our new championship leader. Talk us through that race, Jan.
Well, the race was, I knew the guys behind me were fast. I got a very good start. Joe defended against Mitchell, and he just gave me the door. Left the door open. The racer's supposed to go for the opening. I went for the opening. Kind of had a clean race. It was unfortunate what happened to my teammate Jeremy. I think he's okay, but that was a big crash. I was surprised we went racing again, but I was like, I just got to have clean exits, keep the green car behind me. I know he's coming. Get to the end. I did pass somebody out of class just to stay in the clear. That was awesome. I think Brad maybe cooperated, maybe not. I don't know. I was right there, so it was super fun. I'd do it again. Let's go again.
You and Mitchell are going to be back and forth all season with this championship, aren't you?
I hope so. I mean, I think Mitchell's a real good friend of mine, and we have good battles, good clean battles, and he'll take an opportunity if it's there. He's a good racer, and I'm the same way. So we try to stay out of trouble, but let's keep going and try to get all the way to finale and see what happens.
All eyes to Laguna Seca next month then.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys there.
See you there.
Thank you.
Great stuff, Jan Bernier. Look how stoked he is. Big smile, double fingers. He's absolutely loving it. Congratulations from his team and his mates. Brilliant win for him. And I say that sees him in the lead of the point standings for Trofeo Pirelli Am. Good job. And the battle will go on to Laguna Seca, then Sonoma, then Road America, and maybe even all the way to the Circuit Barcelona, Catalunya. Certainly the battle raged between them for a long way through last season. Let's have a look at the standings then, as we're at the midway point of the American legs. Remember, we've had 3 rounds over here. We've got 3 more to go on American soil before we get over to Spain for the Finale Mondiale. Johnny Kaminsky leads by 44 points. That is very impressive indeed. When we came here, he was 26 points in the lead, so he's not quite doubled it, but good job. Brad Falvera moves up a place, Roberta Perina down, and they only 1 point apart. Brian Cook, look, is 9 points behind them. So, and look, only 2 points back then to George Grinzevich. So actually, the battle for the remaining podium spots is huge, but Kaminsky with a good run up front. Manny Franco, remember, missed Sebring, so he's brilliant to be in P6, having only done 4 of the rounds. Esteban Beckman moves up a few places. Jonathan Weisman, not with us this weekend, drops down. Then Beaton, good result here. So he's only racing on the Sundays this season. Clark, P10, Falvera, P11, Washington, P12, and McCarthy in P13. Parc Ferme getting ready. Podiums will be up next. Trofeo Pirelli Am. Jan Bernier. Okay. Did he get the fastest lap in the race as well? Because it was 3 points for the gap, but it's gone up to 4. They started this one equal on points. Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green. 4 points between them now. Matthew Diel maintains P3 in the standings here. That's from yesterday. Then Kevin Gutierrez up 1, Porter down 1. Same for Burrows and Hopkins. Jay Logan up a place as well with his win yesterday and his P3 today. Frank Chang, Vesneras, Mathis, Rubo and Chung is your championship standings for Pirelli Am. Right, stay with us. The cars are in Parc Ferme. The drivers are making their way to the podiums, and we will have those podiums for you very shortly indeed. So stay with us. Podiums coming up from COTA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium presentation for the third round of Ferrari Challenge North America, coming to you from the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. We're delighted you've all been here with us today, and we're ready to bring out our first podium of the day. So let's begin with the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. In third place, his first podium in Ferrari Challenge, David Beaton. Give it up, people. In second place with a brilliant drive in a car he hadn't even sat in before the warm-up lap, Johnny Kaminsky. And what a fantastic win under enormous pressure after a pass up at turn 11. P1, Manny Franco. Please now, ladies and gentlemen, remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. To present the trophies to our winners, please give a warm welcome to Antonello Caletta, Head of Endurance and Corsa Cliente, to present the trophies. And we also invite Lucio Vagani, Pirelli Coordinator, Ferrari Programs, from our partners at Pirelli to present the Pirelli Award to our winner. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Lake Forest to accept the Trofeo Pirelli Team Award, once again presented by Antonello Caletta. So we have one more award, and this goes to Jeremy Clark. Unfortunately, he retired from the race earlier on today. It's from our partners at Richard Mille for the fastest lap in the 296 Ferrari Challenge. Please give it up for Jeremy Clark. Really unlucky not to win today. Fantastic performance, and he gets the fastest lap from Richard Mille. Right, guys, hold those trophies up high, please. Quick photo opportunity for everybody. And then you know the drill. It's the end of your weekend. You can get those race suits wet. It is time for the champagne! Next up then, let's invite our podium from the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM class. In P3, yesterday's winner, double podium here, Jay Logan. In second place and in that championship fight, Mitchell Green. And your winner today, meaning he takes the lead in the standings as well, Jan Bernier. Please remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. To present the trophies to our winners, please welcome Andy Susek, Vice President Motorsports Circuit of the Americas. Thank you to Andy and his whole team for a fantastic event here at COTA. We'd now like to invite Lucio Vagani, Pirelli Coordinator Ferrari Program from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner. And now give it up for a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Trofeo Pirelli AM Team Award, once again presented by Andy Susek, Vice President Motorsports Circuit of the Americas. Congratulations to you all. Get the trophies held up high, please, for a photo opportunity. Trophies up, trophies down, and it is time for the champagne. Let's move on then to the podium for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell. In third place, Chuck Whittle. In second place, your championship leader, Blake Rosser. And in P1, your winner today, give it up for Charlie Menard. And also pleased for our Gentleman's Cup winner, Glenn Moss. Please now remove your hats for the winner's national anthem. Give it up, please, for my good friend, Ferrari ambassador and your expert announcer this weekend, Tony Verlander, to present the trophies to our winners. P3 for Chuck, great job. Chuck in his T-car this weekend. Blake Rosser with another great weekend and a solid championship lead. And Charlie Menard, the double win here at COTA, great weekend for him. Gentleman's Cup for Glenn Moss, congratulations. Please welcome a representative from Twin Cities Performance to accept the Copper Shell Team Award, once again presented by Tony Verlander. Now our special presentation this weekend for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell's fastest lap from our partners at Richard Mille with a time of 2:08.250 goes to Blake Rosser, this time presented by Mike Lynch, Ferrari Lifestyle Americas. Congratulations everyone, raise those trophies high for the photos please. And then trophies down. It is time for the champagne! Our final podium for the weekend, then. Let's get our drivers up from the Copper, Shell, AM category. In third place, Melissa Kozira. Melissa, your championship leader, 3 wins in a row to get in that position. P2, back to the podium, Steve Check. Great to see Steve on the podium again. And your winner today, after a couple of great drives this weekend, Jeffrey Nunberg. Another big cheer, please, for our Ladies' Cup winner, already up on the podium, Melissa Kozira. And please welcome our Gentlemen's Cup winner, Bernard Gomez. Please remove your hats now for our winner's national anthem. We'd now like to introduce Paris Mullins, Senior Vice President, Motorsport Circuit of the Americas, to present our trophies to our winners. Fantastic racing all weekend in all our categories. Close battles in the championships as well. Hold those trophies up, please, people. One last photo opportunity. And then for one last time here at COTA, trophies down. It is time for the champagne! That's it for us here on the broadcast team. Circuit of the Americas, Ferrari Challenge North America 2026. The battles are heating up in the championship standings. Make sure you join us in just a few weeks' time as we head across to California and to Laguna Seca. We will see you there. Take care, guys. See you soon.